Cut 2.
Guys, now that Plowboy and Jackson are finally working together, it's only a matter of time until they strike up an office romance. The real question is, who will be the bottom with these two fragile twinks? I could see that Mizzou, Illinois rivalry leading to rough butt play. Thanks. That's from the St. Charles Hermaphrodite.
Gosh. Sorry you had to hear that.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't ever consider myself a top in any scenario.
Clip that off.
You're a bottom?
I mean, just with my figure. And I'm kind of...
But yet you're wielding a large hog.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say I'm pretty flexible, too, and I think that's an important part to be a bottom. Mm-hmm. I think the top really just... obviously you need to take control, but you're not...
Okay.
You're not needing to be as limber.
Right. I agree with all that.
Can gay guys trib?
Cut 3.
You don't have a name like me, like masturbator.
What was that?
That was perfect.
What just came out of your mouth?
Wasn't that his text name?
Harrison's brother, Master.
Oh, okay. Well, he's was it innuated?
Insinuated.
Insinuated?
Okay. It's starting to drop to a clip real quick. It's amazing that a 2-second clip.
But he's insinuating that it's masturbator.
Cut. I'll leave it at the 4.
Anyway, number 3
Sorry.
will be...
He's got another hit at 8:05.
Will be Brazil.
He's on 101 with Randy Character.
Tim, I'm still talking.
I apologize.
You crossed the line now.
Yeah, thank you, Iggy. Iggy's my muscle.
I have the mic drop number, too.
Oh, good. What do we have?
You have to go onto the 101 app.
Canada. Number 1, United States of America.
Yeah. I mean, when Larry starts going with these countries, Doug, do not interrupt him.
Yeah, he's going to go now. He read those off while we were talking.
All right. What's the mic drop number?
You have to go onto you have to download the 101 app, and then
That's not happening.
It's an option to do it. You can send a mic drop.
What's happening, Larry?
He's had enough.
You're hanging up on us?
I'm still waiting on the number for the mic drop.
You have to download the app.
You have to download the app.
You have to download the app.
Okay.
Cut 5.
Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, we're good. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're fine here. You?
Hey, you guys... can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you just fine. Mike! Mike! Well, I guess he's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is! What did you have to say to us today? Mike, anything else? Mike!
Hey, Doc.
Yeah!
Hey, Doc.
What?
When you in the hospital, did the nurse take a shower with you?
Did she do what?
The nurse took a shower with me when I was in the hospital, 2017.
She got
take a shower with me every day.
She actually got into the shower with you.
I like it, too.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
Cut 6.
We actually did that interview. Let it run ever. And the girl, half sound asleep, couldn't have known who she was talking to, and you're just spitting advice.
Juju, baby.
Like some veteran agent.
Well, let me tell the listeners who just heard that maybe for the first time, a lot of editing in there. I mean, it wasn't a good interview, but there wasn't that much dead air.
You think Chris Ravy misrepresented what really happened?
Yes. I mean, no, it wasn't
charge.
It wasn't a bad interview. It wasn't a good interview. But all he did was take my questions and and kept looping that in there. It only happened once. So there was a lot of editing.
Why were we interviewing her anyway?
Yeah, sometimes you hit and miss.
Well, who the hell was it?
That was Kai's friend. She's moved to California. I think she wants to get into porn.
And those were the cuts of the week.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm here with Ryan Kelly, and a lot of people are sitting there, Ryan, with that 2.5% interest rate. And so they need cash right now, but they don't want to mess with that first mortgage. Well, you have a solution for them here with a home equity line of credit.
Absolutely. In fact, they're getting more popular as the days go. And it's exactly what you said. Folks got a great rate over the last few years. They're at 2.5%. They're at 3%. But they know they have equity, and they could really use that home equity now to get caught up on bills and just to get through the month. And that's why the home equity line of credit is a perfect product. We can go in and tap into that equity and get you the cash at closing, and you don't have to touch that current first mortgage. So a lot of folks are looking at those HELOCs now, and why wouldn't you? And at thehomeandexpert.com, we have loan programs for about anybody, like the HELOC, a reverse mortgage, a jumbo loan, an FHA, a VA, a cash out, a purchase, you name it, we've got you covered. So if you've been thinking about doing something with your home, think no more. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Guess what? TMA is giving out end-of-the-year awards to TMA fans.
It's happening December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield.
And we'd like all of you to be there.
You think we're going to have an award for the most misshapen head?
For
Cool,
heaven's
man.
sakes.
Cool. But maybe we'll do most translucent skin, though.
How about the most perverted show member with bleached blonde hair?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Off.
You ashen sweet potato.
This award ceremony is more about the listeners. Best texter, best caller, best emailer, or maybe we'll point out the worst caller, and who should be Listener of the Year. It's the TMA End of the Year Awards, Thursday, December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield. By the way, former adult film actress Lisa Ann will be joining the event. Presented by Munganast St. Louis Acura and Munganast Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. Who should win? Who will win? Who cares? Please bring a new and unwrapped toy for Annie's Hope on behalf of our good friend J Randolph Jr. And you get in for free.
My head's not there.
I've never been talked
blonde
to
hair
like
costs
this.
$100.
I'm getting tanner. My hair's
Find out more at TMASDL.com.
This is Tim McKernan to tell you about Sound Story. If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for your mother or father or your grandparents, you can find it at mysoundstory.com. And this week only through Black Friday, Sound Story gift cards are 20% off when you enter promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com. With Sound Story, you have the choice of Doug Vaughn, Action Jackson, or myself to interview your mother or your father or your grandmother, your grandfather, or yourself to record life stories and wisdom for your family for years to come. It's the kind of gift that you'll never regret giving, and it's the rare gift that everyone will love, not just this year, but for years to come. Just go to mysoundstory.com and get our Black Friday week special of 20% off the cost of a Sound Story gift certificate by entering promo code GIFT. And you will be giving your family the gift of keeping your family's story saved forever. It's Sound Story. Promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube.
Morning after, we are in the Michelob Ultra Studios. It's the Munganast St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin, Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, Action Jackson, and the Plowhawk with you. And we welcome you to get involved on the show by calling in 636-9004-TMA, 636-9004-TMA, Steve Schmidt Kia, North County phone lines, by texting in the Engineered Design Facilities text inbox 314-881-TMA5, and, of course, emailing in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Today's program will be focused on the passing and the legacy of the great J Randolph Jr. And we welcome you to share your stories via phone calls or texts, and that will be the program today. So it will be a unique program, and we will have some guests dropping by the program, and we will have some clips of Jennings on the program, and that is how we shall pay tribute to the great J Randolph Jr., who passed away on Friday morning at the age of 53. Doug, I want to start with you. I know we loved having him on the program, and we love just hanging around him in general.
How could you not? He just made you smile just as soon as you saw him. As soon as he started talking, you knew he had a story that was going to light up the room. It just feels very odd that he's not going to be sitting here with us again, because he was such a big part of the show for so many years. Everybody loved him so much.
Yep.
It's really hard to believe. It's kind of hard to get your arms around it when a guy is that young, and he was just here, a month ago, looking fine, that he's not going to be around anymore. It's really tough.
Iggy, you've known him for 30-plus years, right?
Yeah, we started together at KASP, 92.
Yeah.
And pretty much we're best friends after day 2. Day 1 I was upset with him because he wrote late next to my name because I was 2 minutes late as an intern.
You're still not quite over that one either, right?
I said, who is this guy? But after that, we just Started Fairways and Greens together with Jeff Smith. Fortunate enough to be part of that for, 15, 16 years. And, yeah, we were just, did a lot of stuff together. I remember my favorite story. This is just typical Jay. We would go to Orlando for the PGA merchandise show every year. And that's where we started getting all of our free stuff. And one year, we get off the plane, and we go get a rental car. And I know where downtown Orlando is. And we start going in a totally opposite direction. And I said, where are we going? He goes, well, we got to go to your hotel. I said, what do you mean, my hotel? He goes, well, there was only 2 rooms left where Jeff and I are staying, so we got to go to your hotel. And I said, well, God, where am I at? He goes, not much difference. He goes, the biggest difference is when we walk in our lobby, there'll be ducks. When we walk in your lobby, there'll be hookers.
Oh, my.
Nice.
I was down on hooker heaven down in Orange Blossom Trail while they're staying at the Peabody. And he was right. I got cops shining their lights at me one day. I pulled around to get out, and I was parked in an alley. And just 3 hookers start running toward the car.
Oh, towards you.
And these cops starts flashing lights. Get out of there, buddy. I said, I'm just trying to turn around. Oh, and these guys are lavishing it up at the Peabody with their ducks in the lobby, and I'm down there in hooker heaven. That was just Jay. He thought it was funny.
It was funny.
It was until I got to the hotel. That thing was a crap hole.
You weren't arrested, though, were you?
No, I said, I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to pick them up. I'm trying to turn around in the alley and go out this way. And they just start running at the car. And then I get over to the Peabody, and there's Jay sitting in the lobby with ducks having a Budweiser. And I said, yeah.
Well, we only had 2 rooms there.
There's more than 2, trust me. Anyway, that was, it was always fun with Jay. He was, I can't remember a time that we weren't together that we didn't laugh at some point about something. It was just, he was always finding something fun in everything we did.
Yeah.
Plowhawk, when you think of Jennings, what do you think of?
Oh, man, the personality for sure. I hate that I only was able to know him for 10 years. But he is like my spirit human. Like me and him, we clicked immediately. You know, we obviously love the same kind of hobbies. You know, he's the one that really got me into golf. You know, the ability to play at Normandy and kind of teach me the basics of golf etiquette. You know how Jay videos, no towels, no denim. You know, all those ones that you watch now and just are crying. They're so funny, but...
And he was quick to tell everyone he is not the weatherman.
Yeah, like, just everything about him. I mean, when you talk to people, obviously, at Gobble or just talk... There's no... Everybody talks about how just free... I mean, just a free spirit, just a fun-loving guy. And Madison asked, like, what my favorite memory or story... It's hard to... Like, anytime you're with him, there's a banger, whether it's a story, a comment that he had, either he has a foot in his mouth, like, everything is just, that's so Jay. He was authentic and can be, and absolutely love that guy to death.
Jackson, you guys bonded over Ledoux.
Yeah, we sure did. Jay was on my very first show when I got harassed by the listeners, and of course he was in my corner as a fellow Ledoux Horton Watkins alum. Mm-hmm. And just every day that he would be on the show, I'd like think the night before, I'd be like, oh, Jay's on tomorrow.
It's a Jay day.
Yeah, I get a little smile, and I get to post a little GIF of the foot with Robert Redford. And it would just make me happy. And you know, one thing, like, Jay always never failed to not make me laugh. Like, he was always on. Like, I would call him when Doug was sick and Jay was filling in pretty much every day. I'd call him in the morning right before the show. And I guess the day before, we talked about how I enjoyed NBA Summer League. And I say, hey, Jay, how are you? And he says, Summer League, how you doing? And it was, you know, when someone can make you, like, belly laugh before 7 a.m., you know they're just, like, a special human being. And Jay was one of the most special and awesome people I've ever got to meet.
He pretty much came up with everybody's nicknames.
He is so good.
I mean,
He came up with Iggy?
No, but he came up with Angry.
Ah, yeah.
But Jackson, I think he came up with Chrissy Runner-Girl.
Came up with the nickname for where I work, Doug's Big Channel.
Almost everybody you hear get called a nickname. It's Jay came up with it somehow.
And how you would hit on Madison, and I would absolutely love every second of it. By all means, Jay, do whatever you would like, my friend.
I hope Dave Green can tell this story better than me, because Dave's going to join us a little later. We were at spring training one year. It was me, Jay, and Dave. And the station would, like, send shows down one after the other. So Tony Hubert, Puddin, and Claibs were there, and Bob Ramsey, and then we were coming and taking over for them.
Did you say Puddin?
That's what they call Tony Hubert, Puddin.
Oh,
No idea who.
I thought that was a different guy.
No, Tony Hubert was Puddin.
Okay.
Puddin Hubert. So we were in charge of, giving updates every afternoon. And, just calling in and talking about the game or any moves or anything like that. And there was no Cardinal game at home, and we weren't going to drive to go watch a game. So we just went out and got drunk. And we get back to the hotel room because Jay's got to call in this update. And he goes, I don't even know who won. And Dave goes, who cares? Because, just talk about, hey, Cardinals played today, what they're looking for this year, blah, blah, blah. And he's on hold with the afternoon show with Claibs. And he has ESPN on the TV, and it scrolls at the bottom. And I can't remember what year it was. I don't know if it would have been Matt Morris or whatever. Torn ligament out for the year. And that was the big story. And we don't even know. And what up, Claibs? Well, yeah, big news down here, the Cardinals. And he looks, I'm smashing him. The TV. He goes, Matt Moore is out for the year. That's going to be a big loss. If we don't have the TV on, we have no clue what happened. And if he'd asked that question, Matt Morris, what happened? Oh, we'd have been dead. But it just so happened to scroll across the TV and just like a blink of an eye, Jay goes, yeah, bad news about Matt Morris. That's the big news down here. We had no clue.
And to think people don't trust the media.
Oh, we didn't care. We were down to have fun.
Dude, the video that was posted on the fan page about the towels, I don't know if I remember that story. That was when he was doing the daily videos, I do believe at Normandy or Gateway, I can't remember, but yeah, two dudes rolled up at like 60 years old and they had towels hanging off their belt. And
he didn't like that?
That's a no-no, he said, and those videos are classic.
You make him take them off?
No, you could tell how excited he was at the beginning of the video, like he had to talk about this immediately.
Yeah, some listener, I don't know who the listener is, he's posting all of those on the fan page, which is great, and he do one every day. Oh, 3 doorknobs out here. It's 30 degrees. Are you open? No, we're not open. It's 30. Who's playing golf? Go home. Every day he's posting something from either The Rock or from Sullivan, and they're hilarious.
You can share your memories at 314-881-TMA5, and you are welcome to call in 636-9004-TMA. We have some of our favorite Jennings segments today that we will play for you, and over the course of the show, I'm sure some people will be chiming in with their stories as well. Send your emails in. Tribute to Jennings would be a good strategy today for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air Heating and Cooling is the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Doug is a client, and I am a client, and this is the time to get your furnace tuned up for the winter months. Go to Design Air Heating and Cooling's website, which is designairservice.com. Click on the Book Now tab, and you will be done within 24 seconds and working with the great Seth Goldcamp and his staff, just like Doug and I have. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. Get your furnace checked to make sure that when it's freezing out, that furnace is firing on all cylinders. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. Doug, would you like to tell the people about Ryan Kelly, who is our title sponsor?
Well, we got Black Friday coming up this week, but it could be Black Friday all season long with Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. No need to wait for the Black Friday deal from Ryan Kelly. The Black Friday deal at the home loan expert lasts all season long. Now, getting this deal is simple. You just fill out the digital application at thehomeloanexpert.com/Friday. Do that before January 1st, and you're set. Then after your loan closes with Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, you will get back $1,000. The deal is only good to the end of the year, so grab it while you can. Get started today at thehomeloanexpert.com /Friday. And for you, it will be Black Friday all season long. Ryan Kelly will take care of you in a big way. Find out more about the inflation deflation program also at thehomeloanexpert.com. Ryan has all kinds of programs. No matter your situation, he will take good care of you as he has for many, many years. That's Ryan Kelly, your homeloanexpert.com.
Once you get your home, get it insured with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. And check out the 301 reviews on Google that are 5 stars across the board. It's James Carlton, 314-961-4800. Or go online at carltoninsurance.net. James Carlton and team are incredible. Everyone went above and beyond to keep me in the loop on a claim I had recently. They're all such a pleasure to work with. And I have to give a big shout out to both Stephanie and Barbara for all of their personal help. Thank you all so much. That review on Google Reviews is where you can see more. It's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, 314-961-4800. Or go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton State Farm. That is how you can work with the absolute best. A bunch of texts coming in. He made it a point to know everybody's wife. I don't think he could point me out in a lineup, but he knew my wife. That's Steve.
Yeah.
In Wild.
He made no bones about that either.
And then the listeners would send in pictures of their wives.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all married to supermodels. It's unbelievable.
Right.
This is.
Which pleased Jay very much.
So sorry, fellas. Jay was the best. That's from the total package. From the 314. Did you have any idea that he was sick? It was only a week or so since he was on with his health update. That's from the 314. Well, the background on it is it came on pretty quickly. I believe in either August or September is when it started, and he was diagnosed sometime in mid-October. He texted me on October 21st, a very direct text. To be real blunt, hell, I'll read the text. But I think he misspoke when he was on with us, but it wasn't something that, we were ever going to, correct. Let's see what he wrote here. Texted saying that he, just like matter-of-factly, so yesterday I got diagnosed with liver cancer. Do not know, just out of nowhere. It's not like we had been texting about anything else. Do not know to what extent yet. Meeting with oncologists on the 27th to create a treatment plan. I didn't want you to hear from someone else. Hopeful I got this. And then it kind of goes into, how he would like to keep it, confidential, understandably so. And at the time, and I think he said it in the text, that he had been given, I think, 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to get a second opinion. And we were able to help get that done that Tuesday. The 21st was a Friday. And on Tuesday, he went in and he got a second opinion. And both Jay and his longtime girlfriend, Amy, raved about how kind the doctor was, the oncologist, and this was at a different hospital. But unfortunately, that doctor said, unfortunately, I don't see 3 to 4 months, I see 3 to 4 weeks. And that was on Tuesday, which would have been like the 24th, I guess, 25th, something along those lines. And so as the math played out, that is what it was. When Jay was on with us, he called in and said 3 to 4 months. And Jay knew that wasn't the case. Jay knew it was 3 to 4 weeks. Jay knew that it was coming to an end.
Yeah.
And so, understandably, it's nobody's fault. The audience hears that. That's what the Post-Dispatch quotes. And, and nobody's going to say otherwise. But I think that there has been some either, nobody's doing it out of malice, but confusion because of that and saying, oh, the doctors must have really messed this up. Jay, was shorted out of months that he thought he was going to have. And in reality, the doctor said 3 to 4 weeks, and that's what it wound up being. I saw Jay last Tuesday, And I had, it was something else to see how different he was just from it being 6 days from him calling into the show. And I thought to myself, that's not a way anybody would want to live. And I was texting with Amy the next day, and her hope was that he could make it to Friday. And I had no idea that was the timeline.
Mm.
And the reason was because his son was out of town, and the goal was for him to be able to see his son. And so when Dave Green called me to tell me that he had passed Friday morning, I asked him, I said, man, so I guess that means he didn't get a chance to see his son. Well, as it turns out, his son, Jennings, got back to town on Thursday. Jay got to see him, and then he passed away the next morning. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
No.
It seems like that happens so often. And I think he was, as you heard when he called into the show, he was at peace with the situation. If anything, the way he handled the diagnosis, I think this is the proper word, was inspiring. Because when most people would get that diagnosis, the way he was handling it, like he said, what 53-year-old got to do the things that I got to do? He was, if anything, grateful. And that's something I will always remember. I'll always remember his laugh, his ability to tell stories, how we looked forward to when he would be filling in. All of us wanted him to be a full-time member of the show. It was something that Tommy and I discussed downstairs a couple of months ago, back in May. Because we loved him, and we knew the audience loved him, and he added to the show. So it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And I suppose the great thing about the way that it went is, number one, as weird as it sounds, is it went quick. And number two, and way more importantly, because he had the courage to call in and tell the audience, and therefore St. Louis, what the situation was, in the last week of his life, he got to find out how much he was loved and how much he was appreciated, because I don't think he knew that. I don't think he realized how much people loved him and how much people thought of him as not just an on-air guy, but as just a guy. He was beloved. And I think, and maybe I'm off on this, but I think it would be natural for someone who is the grandson of a United States Senator, and not just like a guy who popped up and had a term, but his grandfather was, served in the United States Capitol for 50 years. Is first a congressman from West Virginia and then a United States Senator. And then the son of a Hall of Fame broadcaster, to just kind of, have an attitude of being, entitled, condescending, grew up in the game of golf, self-described country club kid who spent too many afternoons and evenings around greens by himself to get better at the game, played at South Carolina, to take a certain path and treat people who didn't necessarily have that same blue blood as beneath him. And that was the opposite of the way Jay was. Jay held court, and Jay was an everyman. And I think if you didn't know, and he had a different name, you would never think, ever, that he was the grandson of a United States Senator and the son of a Hall of Fame broadcaster. He made his own way because he was an original, and he was unapologetic about who he was. And I think that's why our audience really loved him, because it was authentic. And his stories, you're thinking, my God, his father, was on the PGA Tour calling golf and called Cardinal games and was the sports director at KSDK, and this man has 3 feet in his mouth. But the audience loved him because the stories were so great, but the stories weren't said as like brags. They weren't like, hey, I'm in Belize, take a look at this, where can I get some food? It's like, you won't believe this. I was lucky enough to get a chance to play with Michael Jordan. And so he wanted to share that with the audience because he recognized he was very, very fortunate, but grateful for it, not entitled. And there's a difference. The stories weren't brags. That's who he was. He was just a great, great guy. And I'm so grateful that in his last week of life, he got to find out how beloved he was. I think I saw his brother post on Facebook that some similar sentiment, and that he also maybe didn't realize how much his brother was beloved. But, within 6 days of that post, $50,000 are raised and thousands of messages of support. So before he went out, he found out just how much people loved him, and he deserved that. He didn't deserve the fate, but he deserved to find out how much people loved him.
And it wasn't just this show, too. I mean, obviously the listeners love Jay, but I don't think there was a day I'd go on Facebook that there wasn't 300 posts about Jay, and it was from people I didn't even know. Just people from all over the country who knew Jay, because he used to do Sirius XM radio, the golf channel. So he reached all those people in the golf community, and just people all over the country who love Jay, and just to see, I want to know who that is. Then there'd be 100 comments under that person's of people I didn't know. So, yeah, in the St. Louis community, he was loved, but he was loved all over the country. People knew him, and he did see him. Dave said they would bring it up and scroll, and he would get to see it all.
I suppose one of the benefits of working in an industry like this is, even when we do lose someone, we can still hear from him from time to time, still plug in the tape and listen to his laugh and stories, and kind of, relive him a little bit that way too, which is nice.
And we will do that here today.
Yeah.
We have the Ariana Marie Foot Fetish Friday, classic. Doug, you may recall Seika and Kitten Navidad.
I do.
Yeah. Have that.
One for the ages.
We have Jennings talking about golfing with Michael Jordan. Jackson says bonus story about sitting in a limo with Ted Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. Eating meatballs, right?
In the Caden Foot Fetish Friday, where, Doug, you started doing a different program.
Well, I was uncomfortable with it. I was uncomfortable with some of the content.
And you listed Glenn Hall as your choice to be in net.
Yeah, if I got to win a big one, I want Mr. Goalie back there. Helmet or no helmet, I don't care. Mask, you don't have to wear it.
Meanwhile, one of the paralegals of our sponsors is getting her toes suckled upon by Caden Cross while Jennings had a soft cow. So it was a nice little tidy segment. So with that all said, I know Mike Claiborne is going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock. Dave Green, Jackson says, is going to be calling in here at some point. Jeff Smith, who Jay worked with for a number of years, is going to be calling in. We welcome you to call in at 636-9004-TMA, 636-9004-TMA, Steve Schmidt, North County phone lines, or text in 314-881-TMA5 with your stories, your appreciation of the great Jennings Randolph Jr. Doug, I think this would be a perfect time to take it back to the Ariana Marie Foot Fetish Friday with the great Jennings Randolph Jr.
All right, hit the lever, Plowsy. Okay, hit the lever, Plowsy.
Yeah, I got it, but...
Just out of curiosity, did anybody in the building bring a pair of socks?
Did anybody in the building bring a pair of socks?
No.
Fake is showing something.
Socks.
I thought we might have a pair of socks.
No. Mayor St. Chuck continues
But
to
my
make
understanding, Ariana, is that you wore a pair of socks.
I wore a pair of socks, yes.
Wow. She wore a pair of socks.
Doug, what does that mean?
Doug?
She's ready for your advances, I think.
Well, it's not necessarily advances, as we've talked about numerous times.
But it was all leading to this point.
It's not for me. It's for these people and the people that wake up and listen to you every morning.
All right.
And your Republican stance.
Right.
And the fact that you're not a member of the fan page.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Still, they still listen. So, is it possible, Ariana, that we could see your socked foot?
Doug's socked foot. We can.
We can.
Yeah.
We
Would it
can.
be?
I'll take my sock off, too.
Oh, my God, she'll take her sock off, Doug.
You're not going to go naked with a sock. All right, here, if possible, if possible, could Iggy pull down the zipper? The zipper. The zipper.
The zipper of what?
The boot.
Oh.
Is there a zipper on the boot?
Yes.
Jay's going to need a
Iggy
defibrillator
pull
at
the
some
zipper
point.
on the boot?
Yeah.
All right.
So Iggy gets...
You get to pull the zipper down. Oh, look, he nice.
Where's Iggy? Where's Iggy? There he is.
Hey.
Hey, I'm not into feet.
I didn't say you were in the
Don't
field.
get me involved in
All
your
right. Does
fetish.
anybody want to pull the zipper down?
Iggy's disgusted right now.
Maybe Mike Lee pulls the zipper.
All right.
Maybe I'll do it.
All right. Ariana, stand up, dear.
All right, here we go. Iggy is going to pull down...
What? I mean, you are a tiny thing. You could say that FCC agrees with that, right?
I think the FCC's fine with saying tiny thing.
Tiny thing.
All right, Iggy is now getting on...
Oh, she's got... It's not really zippers. It's
Velcro?
Harnessed, or it's... They got...
Oh, you mean a strappy, bro?
Yes. Where's Janie?
Look at what's going on. Mike is being restrained by the mayor of St. Chuck.
Yep.
Iggy has just taken off her boot.
There's
and now things are starting to happen, Jay.
Yeah, they
Jay, now things are starting to happen.
Jay, how are the
sell
vitals?
those socks at Normandy.
Jay, how are the vitals right now?
Mine are good. I knew from doing a little preview stuff, and obviously the fact that she's worked with a friend of mine, a wannabe friend, Ava.
Oh.
Ava Adams. If you can introduce me to Ava. All right, now sit down for a second.
Oh, you want me to sit?
Yeah, I want to be careful because I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do. That's one of the prerequisites from the agreement that I signed at the station.
Okay.
Do you need a safe word?
I don't know that I need a safe word, but if you could...
Look at Alvin Mack is guarding.
He's got to get close.
He's getting into a crouch. I think the Cardinals still need an outfield.
No question. If you
gotta
could,
have somebody
if
in
you
center.
could put your... Can you put... Ariana, can you put your foot right there?
I can, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to... I want to be careful. I don't want you to get too close to Doug. A lot of people here like Doug.
Dexter Fowler's out there, free agent. Wouldn't cost you anything.
All right. So there.
I like Billy Hamilton.
Doug, there's.
leadoff guy, good
She's
defensive center fielder.
sponsored by Nautica.
Okay.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're a short, tiny gal. For the listener that's not here. Oh, look at why you got to do that?
Like that arch.
Why you got to do the arch like that?
Okay.
Wow. So that does it for you.
Well,
I didn't even notice anything, and all of a sudden I felt like she took her top off, but all she did was move her
It's
foot.
like a movement. I mean, it was.
And all of a sudden you're a soft cow.
Well, it got me. It certainly grabbed me.
Mike Trout would be the pie in the sky guy. I don't know how many prospects you could give up. I'd give him Carlos Martinez. I'd part with Piscotty.
This is all right.
You need an
Touch
outfield.
it, yeah, you can.
Jay is currently touching Ariana Marie's foot. Doug, 466,000 Twitter followers.
That's a lot of Twitter followers.
Jay, what are you discovering as you...
I mean, she's got the sock, and we talked about...
You can take it off if you want to.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole process.
But you talked about your...
Seriously, is there a doctor ready to perform
You
CPR?
talked about your enjoyment with sock on, so I don't want to miss that.
Right.
Yes, it's very
But
How does this feel for you, Ariana? Because I can tell Jay's...
It feels good.
Okay, so that's good. That's important.
Gee.
Or you're taking
Gee whiz.
you're taking the sock off.
Can't look at this.
It's a foot,
It's
Jay.
Christmas and Hanukkah together.
I think Richard can handle center myself.
Wow.
And you can
And
get
the
the
crowd
left
Take
goes
a look.
wild.
Take a look.
As Ariana Marie's foot is now on the dais,
I mean,
Doug. Look at it. It's on the dais.
table.
That
Not a
is
And there's an applause.
well, there should be. In fact, you should stand.
People have never seen a foot before.
No, it's not a foot. This is a different foot. What she did with the little move earlier.
What was that?
There it is again.
There it is again.
Wow, and you can't handle yourself when she
Well,
does that.
it?
like
She's just wiggling her toes, Jay. That's all it is.
she's not wiggling her toes, Doug.
She's wiggling them.
Doug, she's moving them back and forth.
Well, that's what a wiggle is.
Well, that's how you interpret it.
We're going to need a cleanup in aisle 4.
No, seriously. Let's talk serious for a moment.
That's time. Doug, it's time to talk serious.
You have one of the most proportioned feet I've ever seen.
Aw, thank you.
I'm serious. I mean, it's your toes line up like money. The bottom of your feet is like butter.
Her husband is reaching for his gun.
No, he's all right. He's all right. He knows it's just for the listener.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
He's
tell.
cool.
No, you do. You know you got good feet.
Do I? I mean, I don't know.
What do you mean, do you? They line up proportionate. The feel of them is bad to the bone. I mean, trust me, girl. You got great feet. You got great feet.
Well, thank you.
No question.
That's a nice picture there, Swope.
Would it be?
Oh, no.
No.
What's going on here? Now, where are you going?
No,
Next level.
I'm not going deep.
You want the other foot up there, too, don't
Would it be? No.
Do you want my other foot up there?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Would it be all right if I just kissed the big toe?
Wow.
Oh, jeez, Jay.
Doug, how do you feel about it? What do you think, Trout?
A Trout would be the guy that I would go after. I'd part with Carlos Martinez and maybe Reyes both, just for a chance to get Mike Trout.
What are you doing? Look at this. Look at the cameras right up there. Look at how happy Jay is. Ariana, how did that feel?
So nice. Thank you.
So nice.
Your dad would be proud of you, Jay.
Yeah, it's a long line of foot fetish. The senator and Jay Senior.
Watch that right hand.
I haven't gone past here.
Watch the right hand.
You're a doll. You're a treat, and anybody that doesn't get their fanny over to see this
Country Rocks this weekend.
It's crazy.
Country Rocks in Sauget. Oh, now Jay just took the foot.
Now that's assault. That's assault.
He took the foot.
We're gonna do one more. I've never had a porn star kick me in the face. Right. Just.
He would like you to kick him in the jowls. He likes it.
What? Oh my God. Are you
Yes,
serious?
right in the jowl.
Ariana, is this something? Because I saw in your interview with Iggy in the Plounding today that you said somebody asked you to kick him in the balls one time, and it turned him on, and you said that kind of confused you.
I did a scene where I was kicking this guy in the balls.
Oh, jeez. Doug, that's the industry.
But I didn't. When I did it, I didn't. I was like, I don't want to hurt you, but.
You were sad to see Jaime go.
Yeah, I was. He had some good starts last year.
Ariana Marie, I don't want you to knock the snot out of me.
No.
But just give me a nice little.
You have a mouthpiece in or anything?
Wait, you want me to do it with my foot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
He really wants this. This is your thing.
It's becoming my thing.
Maybe you need to lay down.
Here, can you get to my
Here's what I'll go off mic.
Everyone will see.
Dougie's going off mic, so we're going to have to do some play-by-play.
You can't high kick him.
Jay is now kneeling next to the Golden Tee machine. There are a group of people surrounding this, getting pictures. Ariana is looking to kick Jay in the face.
And please, photographers, crop me out of the picture if you would.
Okay. I don't want to do it hard.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and kick him. No, harder than that. That was nothing.
Audience is happy.
Did that shake you up a little bit?
Let me tell you, this girl, give me a hug, girl. Cool.
Okay.
Money girl. She worked with my girl, Ava Adams. Friend of the show.
Oh, the audience is satisfied, Jennings, and that's why you do this.
Well, it's for them. And you might be the best I've ever worked with.
Wow. There it is. What an evening. Jennings in a very, very happy place. God bless him.
He was pissed that he couldn't join me in the Lumina on that little excursion we did to the Arch. I remember talking to him about that.
No, he wanted to go with you?
Oh, because you were driving her down there.
In Jack of Spades, yeah. He was in there.
Well,
too.
why couldn't he go?
I think logistically, I think he maybe worked at the golf course. But God, what a legendary clip that was.
Oh, that's a classic.
God.
That's where the drop, "You might be the best I've ever worked with," came from right there.
Not just every broadcaster in the business could pull that off.
That's right. And you sounded like you had some good trade proposals there. Looking back on it now, with the idea of trading Alex Reyes and Carlos Martinez and Stephen Piscotty for Mike Trout, I think we would have liked to have done that deal.
I think so, too. How about when I suggested they sign Dexter Fowler as a free agent?
That really
Not so
gave
proud of
me-
that.
We need to edit that one out.
It gave me PTSD.
Yeah. Oh, they actually listened.
And you were willing to give up Reyes as well to get trout. That was something he threw in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. I am crying from laughing so hard at listening to the Jay and Ariana FFF. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. That's from Coxie. There's no one better. That's from Kulky Culkin. I am laughing uncontrollably. This is fantastic. The perfect tribute to Jay. That is from the 314. I love how Jennings would start getting excitedly short of breath when he'd get a foot in front of him. That's from the Dogtown Astrovan.
The video is so good too because he really he gets into the foot like
she kicked him pretty hard.
She got him good.
Right next to the golden tea machine. I think that's a great photo.
The smile on his face was ear to ear.
Crying, laughing, and covered in goosebumps. That's from the recovering alcoholic, who also says, "Love you guys. I would like to be the first to offer Jay, a.k.a. Daddy, my wife, when we all pass and are in heaven. He can tap that ass upstairs before I even let my old man take a ride." That is from the recovering alcoholic. Doug, what a wonderful tribute.
Oh, that was such a great tribute.
Bang my wife in heaven. I think every guy wants to hear that.
Dave Green is going to join us momentarily. Mike Claiborne coming up at 8 o'clock. Jeff Smith at 9 o'clock, and we'll be playing clips such as the one you just heard of Jennings with Ariana Marie throughout the course of the program. And you are welcome to call in with your tributes as well, 636-9004 TMA. And, of course, email in your tribute for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Text in Engineered Design Facilities, text inbox 314-881 TMA5. That's Engineered Design Facilities. Cybersecurity is the most exciting career in technology and one of the most in demand. Centric can train you for a career in cybersecurity, and they can do it in just 4 months. Centric's hands-on program teaches you the actual job skills you need to get started. No history, no biology, just technology. That's how they do it in just 4 months, even if you have no IT experience. And you can do it online, you can do it in person, you can do it in the evenings, you can do it during the day. Whichever works best for you. If you're interested in a career in cybersecurity, call Patrick Nealon at Centric Training today, and he'll walk you through Centric's cutting-edge program and show you everything Centric does to help you get started in your new IT career. Call 314-450-4714 or go to centric.com/STL. That's CENTRIQ.com/STL. Cybersecurity is a problem for every business in St. Louis. You can be part of the solution. That is Centric. And Munganess, the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour and the official automotive provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, and Peter Munganess. They are the best. And they're online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyo.com. Between now and January 3rd, on certified Acura cars, they have a 36-month, 0.99% rate for qualified customers. That's less than 1%. That's between now and January 3rd on certified Acuras. 36 months, 0.99% at Munganess St. Louis Acura. New cars continue to be a challenge at both stores, just like it is throughout the industry. However, if you place an order, they will get you the car you want. Service remains their #1 priority at Munganess. All makes, all models. Even if you didn't get your car from Munganess, get it serviced at Munganess. stlouisacura.com, altontoyo.com. That is Munganast. And, Doug, you'd like to tell the people about Dents Express.
Well, I would. Hopefully you don't need them. Hopefully your car never gets dinged or dented and you don't need them. But, boy, if you do, and it happens to almost all of us, Dents Express is the place to go. It's where you take your car for minor dents and dings, for minor body damage. They will do it, and they will do it with paintless dent repair. You don't always have to have your car painted, running up the cost and the time it takes to make the repair. They have ways to repair all those minor body problems in your car without having to paint, make your car look brand new. They repair minor collision damage, hail damage, and they do cosmetic wheel repair, and they do it better than anyone in town. They got 2 locations. They're on Manchester Road in West County, just about a mile west of 270, and on Hughes Lane in St. Charles. You go see Gray, it'll make your day. Gray Wilson says if you mention that you heard about this on the morning after, they'll knock 10% off the price. How great is that? Yes, they have a website. Here it is, DentsExpressSTL.com. If your car is a dimpled mess, go to Dents Express.
There it is. And joining us right now here on the program, a close friend of Jennings Randolph Jr., someone we have worked with multiple times, Dave Green, with us on the Steve McKee North County phone lines. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, boys. Good morning.
Morning, sir. I'm gonna start with this one, and you can take it whatever direction. Why did we love him as much as we did?
Oh, goodness. That's a great question. Yeah, because he made everything fun. Smitty and I had a lot of golf trips with him where these exact words would come out of his mouth when we'd say, so what do you guys want to do tonight? And he'd go, I just want to have fun. And that was him. It was just, everything that he wanted to do was usually involving other people and laughing and hanging out, or being stuck in his one-bedroom apartment naked playing Candy Crush. So he sort of had those two vibes going. But, he was the ultimate in, we used to talk about, like, what he has. His grandfather and his dad had these amazing personalities and were great with people and loved people. Jay hated people. And we were used to be like, what does he get from his dad and grandfather that had this unbelievable way to communicate? And you would see it, when he was out at the hot shots or, hanging out at the golf course. That's when you would see Jay sort of hold court and that Randolph come out in him.
I told the story earlier. I don't know if you were listening. You're in Tampa, so probably not. But I told a story, and I probably got something wrong because it was really funny. But when you, Jay, and myself were in spring training, and we went out that afternoon and kind of started drinking and got back to do a report into Claib's show and had no idea that the Cardinal – I said Matt Morris. I don't know who it was, but somebody was out for the year. We had no clue until the scroll came on the bottom of the thing, and we just handled it perfectly because Jay didn't. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, that's what happened.
Yeah. It was Rich Gould and Rammer on middays, and it was my day to call in the report. And we get back to the hotel, and I mean, these were our trips. Like, if I can sit back and remember great times with him, most of them involved some sort of traveling to spring training or to a golf event or the PGA merchandise show in Vegas. But yeah, that particular trip, I think maybe we saw highlight and some horse racing, but we didn't see a ton of baseball. And we get back to the hotel and it's like 11:30, and I got called in the report. And thank God Jay turned on the TV because, along the bottom of the scroll comes Cardinals starting pitcher Matt Morris out for the year with an arm injury. And literally what I hear in my ear is Rammer going, well, let's go live to Dave Green and get his take on what happened today. And I'm going, Matt Morris got hurt. He's out for the year. Will need surgery. I mean, we had no clue, but this was... So I'm going to tell you the story of one of my first trips with Jay, which was to lovely Macomb. And Jay would go through periods of time where he would put rules on himself. And he would do things like, I'm not drinking at home anymore. I'll only drink on the road. And okay, and yes, there was a time that he called me at 10 in the morning from the American Club at the airport. Our flight didn't leave until like 6 that night. But he had decided that the airport counted as being on the road, so he got there early. But one particular time, it's me, him, and Hoss. And we drive to Macomb, and we go to this little pizza place. And Jay hadn't had an alcoholic beverage in several months. And he was really looking forward to the trip. So we sit down at this pizza place, and the waitress comes over and says, what can I get you guys to drink? And he says, I'll have a pitcher of Budweiser. And she says, how many glasses? And he says, none. And just starts laughing his head off. And he looks at her and shook his head again and goes, none? I'm not kidding. Bring the pitcher. and just little moments like that. And you're just like, but yeah, boy, the spring training trips were something else. Iggs will have to tell you guys his spring training trip sometime. His story.
Oh yeah, are you talking about the stripper?
The funny money when you didn't think you thought the girl was in love with you, and it turned out you owed her a lot of money that you had to get the funny money.
And Jay thought that was so funny that I was
funny.
Well, I was heartbroken. Oh. And Jay, I'm sitting in the room, and Jay goes, what are you doing? I said, we're going to breakfast. He goes, you got to be kidding me. I said, no, she's coming. He goes, you just spent all that money for lap dances to think you were going to take her out?
You literally said to us, I think I'm going to take a different flight home. I mean, you were set up. But speaking of gentlemen's clubs. My favorite Jay story involves a gentlemen's club, oddly enough, which is we were in, I think, North Carolina, and he and I went to one of those establishments, and we had been talking that day about how, I can't remember the exact scenario, but for some reason we were getting a bunch of calls about blues hockey about that week, and it was like an odd time to be getting calls about blues hockey, and we were like complaining about it, or I said something on the way there, like, why do all these people want to talk about blues? It's baseball season or whatever it was. So long story short, we are in the club, we're having some cocktails, things are going on, and all of a sudden this little beautiful girl comes up to me out of nowhere, and she says, "Sir, I need to take you into the back. This has been taken care of." And I said, "Well, okay." And so we go into the back, and she starts to do her thing, and right as she gets her rear end in my face, she turns around and says, "Do you want me to continue, or do you want to talk blues hockey?"
What'd you take? What option did you choose there?
Well, let's just say this: we didn't talk a lot about Bruce Nevich or whoever.
Hey, Dave, Tim brought this up earlier in the show, and you spent a lot of time with Jay, but Tim said it was just so great of Jay to be able to see how much he was really loved over the last week or so. He got to see all those messages and things, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he absolutely did. It was really important. It was Jay is a really deep down. He's a very private guy. He doesn't like a lot of people to know his stuff, and he was kind of typical Jay when this started, and he was don't tell anyone, and want to keep it on the down low. And when we kept getting worse news, and it seemed like every time somebody saw him, the news got worse. The last time I really had a chance to have a straight-up conversation with him, he was struggling, or what's the word, just distressed about some financial things. And, I said, "Man, I know we can take care of that, and I hate the fact that, we can't take away any or most of these burdens that you have, but the financial one we can, and I also think that's going to serve another purpose." And he's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "People really care about you, and I know you don't think it or say you don't care and all that good stuff, but more than anything, I want you to see what people think about you and how you've entertained them or make them laugh, or whatever it may be." I mean, I have friends that met him one time 20 years ago, and they're like, "Oh, I remember him. He's the funniest guy I ever met," and the impact that he had on just so many people. So, yeah, he was seeing a lot of them, and then the last few days, his girlfriend, who's been just an amazing rock, Amy LaBelle, was reading him to him, and so. It was an emotional time because he was seeing a lot of names from the past, both from his life, his dad's life, the radio life, the golf life. It was pretty amazing. And my wife and I were joking. Jay liked 7 people, and 725 donated to his cause. I probably have 700 friends, but 7 people would donate if something happened to me. So it was like that's just Jay. Like, it so perfectly sums up Jay that he thought 10 people were going to donate, and 725 did, or whatever it's at.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's a perfect way to sum up what his mindset was on his perspective on how he was appreciated, and that is why, again, even though this is brutal, it's so great in the sense that at the end he was able to find out how much people loved him, not just because of the money, but because of the messages. So, tip of the cap, Dave, for setting that up and getting getting that done. Because, like you said, yes, the money, $50,000+, incredible. But that also led to a bunch of messages and people making sure they posted pictures, and he got to find that out. So that was a wonderful byproduct of the whole thing.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And I mean, I saw him, smile at a few of the names. I mean, it was just, we were getting emails from, old producers and old interns, and it was actually funny. There was a guy who wrote a post, and And it was a very nice post about Jay, and he was talking about how in the early days he had worked at the radio station. I couldn't remember who the guy was. And then somebody had replied, and this guy wrote back, and I knew that he knew Jay well because he had the entire coffee order down pat, where we used to send, people in Webster over to the Einsteins.
Yeah.
And he would have that, order. But I was talking to his ex-wife, who we called Gummy, the other day, and just talking about, I'm the father now of 3 teenage girls, and I say that working the morning show with Jay was actually pretty good training for being the father of 3 teenage girls, because when he would come in the morning, you had no idea what kind of mood you were going to get.
Yeah.
He would kick that KFNS door open. He'd have 2 Starbucks or 7-Eleven cups spilling all over him, and he would either look at me and go, "How you doing, Brother Dave?" or he would go sit down and kick a chair and look at me and go, "You got anything you want to talk about today?"
That's a nice impression.
And that is pretty much what it's like with 3 teenage girls. You have no idea what mood they're going to be in. So it was great training, so I have to thank him for that.
That's awesome. Dave, thank you so much for Dave was so... I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking like I know. I just know you were very helpful over the last month or two with this situation, and set up the GoFundMe. And everybody who loves Jay Jr. should be grateful to you and what you did here over the last month for him, because he got to find out how many people absolutely loved and admired him. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for sharing the stories. I know our audience certainly appreciates it, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
No, my pleasure. Thank you guys for doing it. And he loved you guys. He loved this show. He loved the audience. I would get so many text messages just about when he was coming in to do the show, how much he would love it, and wishes that was what he was kind of doing his whole radio career. So you guys are very important to him as well, and appreciate it. Love you guys, and don't forget, Junior, keep laughing.
Amen. Amen.
Thanks,
It's the
buddy.
great
Thanks,
Dave
Dave.
Green
Appreciate
with
that.
us here on the Steve Schmidt Kia of North County phone lines. We will take a commercial break, and on the other side of it, Mike Claiborne will join us as we start up the appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today. The best authentic Southwestern cuisine awaits you at Santa Fe Bistro in Creve Coeur. Open for lunch and dinner with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and Saturdays, 2:30 to 4. Daily drink and entree specials and 72 tequilas, as well as a vast selection of beer on draft and by the bottle. Wear a jersey or team gear for Blues and NFL games and get a free drink with the purchase of an entree. Nothing says authentic Southwestern cuisine quite like Santa Fe Bistro, west of 270 on Olive. Same plaza as the old TGI Fridays location. Full menu at SantaFeBistroMO.com.
Hi, this is Trish Wolf from the Wolf Pack at Worth Clark Realty. And the home selling market might look a little bit uncertain right now, but if you've got the Wolf Pack on your team, that's going to make all the difference. We're going to help you with staging and tell you what kind of upgrades to make or to avoid. We're going to put our social media to work for you and get you your maximum exposure for that home. So while home values are holding and inventory is still low, let's jump on board and get that house listed. And if you're waiting until spring, it's never too early to get started with that planning. So give me a call today at 314-807-WOLF, or you can always find us at trishwolf.com. Join the pack. We've got your back.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, I know the market is cooling right now. Is it still a good time to buy a house? Rates up? It's a mess out there, isn't it?
Yeah, right? I mean, think about it. Think about where we were a year ago. You know, we saw the headlines, and if you were one of those trying to buy a house a year ago, you know darn well it was tough. You know, a listing would come on the market, and 20, 30, 40 offers would come above asking price, and it was a very difficult environment to navigate through. Now look at today. Homes are coming on the market, price decrease. Then an offer comes in and it's well below list, and people are buying these houses a lot less expensive than they would have a year ago. So, yes, mortgage rates are a little bit higher, but the savings you get on the sale price should more than make up for that. And then at thehomeloanexpert.com, we will refinance your loan with no fees when rates do go back down. So you get in there now and you marry the house and just date the rate until we can refinance you at no cost. Learn more today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Your favorite spirits like Hendrick's Gin and Monkey Shoulder Vatted Malt Whiskey are now available in premium, ready-to-serve cocktails thanks to Batch and Bottle. Try the Lazy Old Fashioned, Rhubarb Cosmo, Gin Martini, or Scotch Manhattan. Simply chill, pour, and garnish. Each bottle serves 4 to 5 cocktails, so grab a few for your next party and spend less time in the kitchen and more time in the conversation. Just look for the black bottle with the gold cap. That's Batch and Bottle Premium Ready-to-Serve Cocktails. Batch and Bottle Premium Pre-Batch Cocktails, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York. This is Tim McKernan to tell you about Sound Story. If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for your mother or father or your grandparents, you can find it at mysoundstory.com. And this week only through Black Friday, Sound Story gift cards are 20% off when you enter promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com. With Sound Story, you have the choice of Doug Vaughn, Action Jackson, or myself to interview your mother, or your father, or your grandmother, your grandfather, or yourself to record life stories and wisdom for your family for years to come. It's the kind of gift that you'll never regret giving, and it's the rare gift that everyone will love, not just this year, but for years to come. Just go to mysoundstory.com and get our Black Friday week special of 20% off the cost of a Sound Story gift certificate by entering promo code GIFT. And you will be giving your family the gift of keeping your family's story saved forever. It's Sound Story. Promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Guess what? TMA is giving out end-of-the-year awards to TMA fans.
It's happening December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield.
And we'd like all of you to be there.
You think we're going to have an award for the most misshapen head?
Cool, man. Cool. But maybe we'll do most translucent skin, though.
How about the most perverted show member with bleached blonde hair?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, off.
You ashen sweet potato.
This award ceremony is more about the listeners. Best texter, best caller, best emailer, or maybe we'll point out the worst caller, and who should be Listener of the Year. It's the TMA End of the Year Awards, Thursday, December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield. By the way, former adult film actress Lisa Ann will be joining the event. Presented by Munganast St. Louis Acura and Munganast Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. Who should win? Who will win? Who cares? Please bring a new and unwrapped toy for Annie's Hope on behalf of our good friend J Randolph Jr. And you get in for free.
My head's got that.
I've never been
blonde hair costs
I'm getting tanner. My hair's
Find out more at TMASTL.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Get the TMA mobile app and enable notifications so you don't miss a thing. See our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Stream us on the TMA mobile app and at TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Welcome back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Plowhawk Action Jackson with you. Ken Strode is out. He was doing an hour today. He always does that during the Thanksgiving week. He does an hour. And
Yeah, the call came from corporate Minneapolis. They had an assignment for him.
Oh, right back.
Oh.
Wow. That was only 3 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Ryan Kelly Morning After. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios. The Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Appliance Discounters, if you're in the market for a new home appliance. Our 8 o'clock hour sponsor, Appliance Discounters, has what you need. Shop major brands like GE. Appliance Discounters have drastically lower prices on installs, with select washers being free. They also have huge GE cash rebates. It's Appliance Discounters online at theappliancediscounters.com. It is our pleasure to welcome to the program as we continue to pay tribute to the great J Randolph Jr. throughout the entirety of today's show, the great Mike Claiborne. Claibs, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are fine, sir. Thank you for joining us. I know you are on vacation, so we really appreciate you joining us. One of the things that people were talking about, Claibs, when Jay passed, is how great of a storyteller he was, and I would put you up there. Anytime they ask me who the best storytellers are, I go, God, Mike Shannon, Kelly Chase, Mike Claiborne, J Randolph Jr. I think that's my Mount Rushmore in St. Louis. So I would imagine you've got a few Jennings stories. Any stand out as one of your favorites?
Well, I remember, gosh, this is almost 30 years ago. He and I came down, and ironically, we went to the Dominican Republic to play some golf and hang out at this new resort. And, we didn't know that they didn't start the party until, well after sundown. So we're in the casino, and we're having a good run. We're crushing this blackjack deal. I mean, Jay and I are just murdering. Jay says, you better go back there and get some help because this is not working out for you well tonight. So they bring out this voluptuous woman who's a dealer. And now all of a sudden, Jay's not even paying attention to the cards. He's just staring at her, and she's staring at him, and Jay's splitting kings. I mean, it was just, I was like, hold on, man, what are you doing here? And so now we get back on a run, and we're really on a run. I mean, so now this older guy comes up. First time I ever seen a guy play $500 a hand. And he's knocking it out of the park. So to the point where they say to us, all right, one more hand, we got to shut it down. So this guy, this old guy, he pushes in 30 grand easy. Jay's got a big piece of change, too, and so he pushes in all as well. I look at both of them push in half, and Jay says, good, that way we can eat tomorrow. So now, so I get 20. My guy, the old guy, hits 21. Jay hits 20, and the dealer busts out 24. So needless to say, the place goes wild. And so, the next thing he asks for, let's put it this way, where's the ballet? I got money. And so they said, well, we don't have one. He said, oh, we'll find one. Don't worry about that. And so, as you can tell, later that night, Jay found enough entertainment for all of us to really get to know the locals here. Let's just put it that way. He was so much fun to hang out with. We went to, we were in Texas at Lock and Terror. We played Lock and Terror one time. A similar situation happened. But, I think for Jay, he didn't have a crew. I mean, he didn't have a best friend. I think everybody felt like they were his best friend. But he was a guy that he knew how to have a good time, and he crossed every zip code known to mankind. There was nowhere Jay couldn't go where somebody wasn't going to know him or he wasn't going to know somebody. And I don't care what part of the world it was in, he was just that guy. And that's the one thing that I've been trying to deal with because I learned in news. You and I we were one of the few that had a chance to see him before he passed. And you and I had stayed in touch with him. And as soon as I landed in my destination, I got the call. And it just hit me that I'm not going to talk to him anymore. So what I've been doing is just going online, Facebook. When Daddy was not happy with some of the patrons in Normandy, he let everybody know. And I was watching all the things that made me laugh. And that's who he was. He was honest. If he loved you, he loved you. Yeah. But if you were a scrub, you knew it. He didn't have time. He didn't talk a lot on the phone. I mean, if you got 5 minutes out of Jay on the phone, then you really had a good story for him. But he was very honest about people and situations. And I was telling Jeff Smith, we were talking this morning about the fact that Jay would call you for 2 reasons. He'd have a question for you, or he pointed out somebody he thought was a scrub. You were a scrub. You were a scrub. It was a wrap. He had no love for you, but he kept it moving. And, when he first told me, he probably told you around the same time, I felt helpless. That he knew he was going. He was dying. Yeah. And I said to him, man, what can I do? Because, I mean, it's not something we deal with every day. He just said, live for me. Live for me. And I'm going to do my best to do that. And it won't be hard because living for him is just showing up having a good time. I'm already doing it.
Claibs, he always, and you brought it up, but you always knew when he was on the outs with somebody because you'd bring up that name and he'd always say, who? I said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Who?
Yeah.
He wouldn't mention the name.
You know what? You were dead to him. You know, I mean, if you crossed that line with him, and it was hard to cross that line with him. You know, Jay found a way to get along with everybody for the most part. But if you really crossed that line with him, it was a wrap. There was no going back. And you know what? He was good with it. He didn't, you know what? He didn't hold a grudge. He just didn't fool with you anymore.
Boy, that is true. That is true.
And I respected him for it. Like, with me, I'm a scorched the earth with somebody in that situation. But Jay always found a way. He just would keep it moving. But if he saw you, if your name came up, if he barely liked you, he'd say, who? If he really didn't like you, he'd say he's a scrub.
He's a scrub. That is the word.
Even when he was working, it didn't feel like he was working. Whether it was here or at the golf course, it always felt like he was just kind of hanging around.
That is true.
You know, he and Tim, I think I've told you the story about my ventures at hosting amateur night at one of the local and so we had a night that really kind of got out of hand with one of the patrons where she really wanted to put on a show. And it was so descriptive. The Jay just looked at me. He said, well, I guess we know who's playing for second place tonight. Because we already know who's won first. And I never forgot that line. And he had that Bud Light in his hand and a cigarette in the other, and he was at home, man. He was at home. But we're going to miss him. And as I said earlier, I plan on trying to live for him and have as much fun as he thought he could have. He was a great friend, good father, just a wonderful person for so many different reasons. He got involved in causes unlike anything else. And let's face it, he put golf on the map in St. Louis.
Yeah, you're right about that, man.
He had people interested in golf that had no idea what end of the club to hold on to. With all the creative events that he had, all the things that he was doing with fairways and greens, or he and Jeff Smith, that show and what they did in the early stages of the 90s really gave the interest of golf a different name. It really gave it a title that there are a lot of people playing this game today because of what Jay was doing, what Smitty was doing, and Denny Walters, and all those guys. They were creative in getting people involved. Man, they didn't care where you grew up. They didn't care if you had any money or not. They found a way to get you involved in the game.
Yeah, you're right, man. He did. He and Smitty with that fairways and greens. That was huge. And Jay, 30 years in St. Louis Sports Talk Radio.
Yeah. I remember my first time meeting him. We were at KASP. And, I knew obviously his dad, and I knew Jay had just moved back to St. Louis. And we had him on the air one day. It was early, and she was the one that proposed to us, hey, we ought to have a golf tournament on the radio. I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work. But anyway, I said, so what's your plan, man? He said, my plan is to show up here and get a job and have fun with this and promote golf and any other sport that needs to be done, but I'm going to have fun doing it. And I said, this is my guy.
Yeah.
And that was 1991. That was 1991. I think it was April of 1991. That was my first encounter with him. And I had expressed to him that I really wanted to get into golf more. And the next thing I know, he was taking me out. We'd go play. And the reason why he loved playing with Jay is because he played quick. He was one of the fastest golfers I ever played.
Yeah, he wasn't interested in messing around. Man, he just swatted the ground. That's what I felt when he played Jay. He's like swatted the ground, but then the ball would be perfect.
Exactly. I remember one time we played Gateway National in 2 hours and 7 minutes. I'll never forget it. I said, we must have missed some holes somewhere. But he said, no, man, we're going to be all right. And we were both playing well that day, obviously. And I think the reason why Jay was a good golfer, he didn't take time to think about the shot he should have made. He just went on to the next one.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it, man. Well, I know you are on vacation, and it was very kind of you to take some time away to join us and share some stories about Jennings, Claibs. Absolute legend.
We'll have some other good stories when I get back. We'll have a few other good ones.
Yeah, some off-air stories, which will be quite choice.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody mourns differently, in this situation. I mean, he's as close as the friends I've had in the business has passed early. And, I'm going to just go out and try and have fun and live for him, man, and stay off the parade float, as you know I've talked about.
I like that.
You never later there.
Oh, that was a classic one there. Claibs, enjoy it, and we really appreciate it, man. That's Mike Claiborne calling in from vacation.
God bless Jay Randolph.
Amen, brother.
Right, thanks, Claiborne.
There he is, Mike Claiborne. Thank you, Claibs. Mike Claiborne with us here, sharing his stories on the great J Randolph Jr. You are welcome to do the same, as many people are doing via text. You're welcome to call in 636-9004-TMA, or, of course, email in your tribute. Our show today entirely dedicated to Jennings Randolph Jr. The morning after at InsideSTL.com is how you can email in and compete for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. VIP Auto Accessories offers quality and the ability to get it all done at one place. They're a full-service operation, a one-stop shop. They take the vehicle from point A to point Z. VIP saves you time and hassle. It's quicker to deal with VIP than 2 to 3 vendors with multiple locations. And VIP is all local since 1979. VIP is the biggest secret in its industry, and now they are promoting their service for all the here and to take advantage of the VIP quality and convenience. It's VIP Auto Accessories. Call Tommy Cibulka at 314-428-3900. He wants you to call him directly or email him directly at tommy.cibulka at VIP Auto Accessories. That's VIP Auto Accessories. And don't forget, with the cold weather, now is the time to get remote starting for your car. You want to start your car before getting in it, so that way you're not freezing. They do that for you at VIP Auto Accessories. Go to VIPAutoAccessories.com or call Tommy Cibulka, 314-428-3900, or email him at tommy.cibulka at VIPAutoAccessories.com. Jackson, tell the people about Mugsy.
Absolutely. They're having their biggest sale of the year.
When?
It's all right. It's already started right now. It goes to the end of the month. The entire site is up to 30% off all of your favorites with free shipping and free returns. As always, you don't have to turn down a tailgate or a holiday party again because it's too cold outside.
No.
Because these Mugsies, they got fleece and flannel literally lined and stitched inside the jeans. They're already the most comfortable, most stylish-looking jeans in the world, but now that they're going to keep your nuts nice and toasty. It's the absolute perfect gift for anyone in your life that you want to show you care about. Just be careful because they'll really, really love you after you give them Mugsy. So wield that power responsibly. They're not only the world's greatest jeans, but they also have super awesome flannels, jackets, cashmere, holiday party pants, joggers, literally anything your closet could ever need. So treat yourself or give a great gift by heading over to Mugsy.com for up to 30% off the entire site. That's Mugsy.com. You don't need a promo code for up to 30% off your entire order with free shipping and free returns if you don't like them. Experience life-changing comfort with Mugsy.
Mugsy, a wonderful sponsor of TMA, just like Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. Everybody needs a financial advisor, even if you're sitting there going, well, I don't really make that much money, and I'm 26 years old. Start setting money aside. It is so helpful down the road. You have no idea. And somebody like Mark Hanna is somebody who can really help you out. 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. Talk with Mark. You'll get off the phone and you will feel much better about things because now you'll have a plan. And just having a plan is a big first step. That's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios. Michelob Ultra is 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and a wonderful sponsor of the Dotem and the Lemmings Open and the Fan Page Club Championship. It's Michelob Ultra, sponsor of our studios here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Joined by Mike Claiborne here in the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Jeff Smith, Jay's longtime partner on Fairways and Greens, will be joining us coming up at 9 o'clock. And the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, tribute to Jennings Randolph Jr. at 9:45. That comes your way in the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. I think one of the greatest Jennings stories was the Michael Jordan golf story, and then we get the bonus of sitting in a limo with Ted Kennedy. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is an all-time classic with Jennings Randolph Jr. talking about the time he got a chance to play golf with Michael Jordan and sit in a limousine with Ted Kennedy.
Hit the lever, please.
I think one of the reasons why very wealthy people and or celebrities become obsessed with golf, and I think the word is obsessed, is because they've been able to kind of get to the top of whatever industry that they're in, but they're always needing a challenge, which is how they got to the top, because they're self-starters and they have to be the best.
Yep.
And then they get to something that they can't conquer, and then they just become obsessed with it. And then, of course, there's a ceiling, and usually it's, relatively speaking, low. And I thought I saw the same thing when poker was really popular. You saw a lot of celebrities getting into that.
Yep.
And then that would actually, whereas golf, I mean, your loss is your time. With poker, your loss could be your money, especially if you have just ridiculous money. That's
but a lot of those guys are gambling on the golf course, too.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Jordan played virtually every day for a couple of years after he retired. Still plays virtually every day. I think it's something that drives him. I mean, it's better.
Do you know what he is?
His cap?
Yeah.
I mean, when I played with him, it was legitimate 6.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and that was at Boone. I mean,
you have time to say handicap. You don't have to just say cap.
I liked it.
It's a 3-hour show.
I know, but I got another live read coming up.
We got the email of the day.
Yep.
So you played with him? Just you and him in the cart?
No, it wasn't. It was just me and him in the cart. Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
What did you guys talk
too?
about?
Huh?
How'd you manage this?
I was doing
Claibs.
I was doing a radio. No, it was kind of Claibs and Rich Gray, the late Rich Gray, who started sports radio.
Gray.
I got a call, and I was doing a morning show with Warman, and so Rich said, "What are you doing today?" And I said, "This was before Candy Crush." He said, "Nothing really." He goes,
"Nothing."
All right, why don't you come out to Boone Valley? I may have you play golf with Michael Jordan.
How do you do?
He may.
Yeah, he said may. So I said, okay. So I drive out to Boone, and when I got there really wasn't anybody there yet. So there was a big guy, big African-American guy. I mean, big.
Charles Oakley.
No, this was...
Shaq?
No, this was...
Bobo Brazil?
Bobo is right. Yeah. Because he was Michael's Bobo.
Oh, well, this guy was a wrestler years ago.
No, I remember Bobo
he
Brazil.
And Dick the Bruiser
I
used to go
remember
round and
Bobo
round.
Brazil, Ernie the Cat Lad.
The Corazon?
And here comes Oakley, Charles Oakley. Here comes the Jetstream, Roy Green. Here comes my man Willard Harrell. Here comes Rich Gray. And then here comes Jordan. And everybody's hitting balls, hitting putts, whatever, and... next thing I know, Rich Gray says, Jay, you're playing with Michael and Oakley and Big Mike. And Big Mike wasn't Michael. Big Mike was the Bobo.
The bodyguard.
The Bobo, yeah. but like his tight buddy, too. And we're driving down the first. We both had our tee shots in the first hole, and we're talking about this and that. And he said, you know, I met your dad one time. I said, really? He said, yeah, at Augusta. I said, oh, I said, he told me. I said, I didn't think you remember that. He said, I remember it.
Who said this to you?
Jordan.
Jordan said that.
Met your dad.
Wow, how
yeah,
about that?
I was like, damn. Because, I mean, Senior had met him, shook his hand. So we're driving down the first fairway. He goes, and this is 10 o'clock in the morning.
So you and Michael Jordan in a golf cart?
In a golf cart with Oakley and Big Mike, the Bobo.
In the other cart.
And then Willard and there was somebody. It's another NBA guy.
Will Chamberlain.
No, it wasn't. Or
was
Bill,
it really?
Neither Russell or Wilt.
Could well have been Will Chamberlain.
No, it was not. Well, Oakley
Rudy
was there.
Tomjanovich.
Oakley. No, not Rudy TJ.
Was it Zelmo Beatty?
It was not Zelmo Beatty.
Darnell Cole.
Maybe.
Sweet Lou Hudson.
And so we're driving down the first hole, and he goes, do you drink? I said, well, I do. And he said, well, what do you drink? I said, Budweiser. He said, got on the phone, called the pro shop. He said, bring us a case of Budweiser out here.
Case,
Budweiser. He was, somebody asked me about him yesterday. He's the greatest guy I've ever met. Now, I'm not going to tell you that he would be necessarily the best husband, per se. in the world, but he's.
Well, you're not looking to marry a guy.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I'm not looking to marry anybody unless it's something unique, like Swedish
What
with
if
a
that
lot
girl
of money.
from Hannah from the Foot Fetish Friday video that's up?
We could figure it out. We'd start a GoFundMe for both of us.
Would you?
And do well.
Okay. You did seem to hit it off with her.
Yes.
So the beer came out for you and Zelmo Beatty
And Mike. And Mike worked over the beer really well.
Did he?
And we played the first 18. I was up $150.
What are you playing?
We're playing 50 Nassau, 50 front nine, 50 back nine, then 2 down. I think we might have been playing 2 down automatics, but we were back and forth. And we went into the upstairs area at Boone to have lunch, and he just starts drinking vodka straight, like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. And the U.S. Open was starting in 2 days. And the phone rings, and it's Tiger.
Of course.
Calling Jordan.
Right.
It was the most unique thing, and then we played another emergency 9. And
what did he need? What did Eldrick need?
I didn't get into it. I mean, it's, hey, Tiger, how you doing?
Jay.
And I'm like, and Oakley's over there eating everything, and Big Mike's eating a chicken. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Wilt Chamberlain hitting on the girls.
No, Wilt was not there.
Oh.
And so
he said he had 10,000 women.
Well, he was busy. So we're changing our shoes after the round, and he started calling me fat boy during the day.
That was nice of him.
Endearing.
He talked more smack than anybody.
Would he do it? Would he do it at times that would be inappropriate?
No, he would. He knew exactly. He was a champion. I mean, if we ever have a smack talk Olympic team, he's the coach. I mean, I can't. I look at Oakley when they catch up with us on the tee, and I go, "Was it this bad in basketball?" And he said, "Close." He said he's really tough on the course. So we get.
Can you give us an idea of the smack talk?
I mean, you ain't got that shot. Go ahead, fat boy. Try that shot. It's not going to happen. I'll get your ball out of the water. In fact, let me go up there now. I'll go up and get it. I'm like,
and yet you're a much better player than he is.
At the time, and I'm like, take it easy now.
Do you fire back at all?
Absolutely.
Did you?
Who do you think you are, Michael Jordan?
Yeah, good one.
I mean, give me a pair of shoes.
So what did Chamberlain think of all this?
Chamberlain was in the clubhouse with a couple of gals.
Oh, that's right.
So we're changing our shoes. And, I mean, I'm still kind of like on a high. But I've been drinking too, but not drinking like him. And he says, what are you doing tomorrow, fat boy? I said, well, I got to do a radio show. I do a radio show on Saturdays at 8 o'clock in the morning, a golf show. He said, why don't you be at Old Warsaw at 9:30? I said, what? Yeah, come on out to Old Warsaw at 9:30. So now I get to Warsaw, and here's Ozzy hitting on the range.
Doug on a home run by the Wizard.
Yeah. And Willard and this guy and
Bill
that
Russell's
guy.
there now.
My man Danny Devereaux, because at Old Warsaw.
Deep pockets Danny Devereaux.
Deep. You need to.
Take a look off the number 5 fairway to your left.
You need to have a member with you at OW. It's not like Boone where you just, if they want you there, they want you there. So I'm thinking, I'm not playing with him today.
Not today.
Ozzy's here.
He just played yesterday.
So he pulls up in a cart and he said, fat boy, put the clubs on there. Put my clubs on the cart, your clubs on the cart.
And you played again?
Played 18 with him at Orson with Devereaux and Roy Green.
Well, what happened to the radio show?
Yeah, what happened?
I did the radio show. We teed off at 9:30.
Oh, he moved the tee time for your radio show.
No, he had it at 9:30. He was in town because his kid was in a select camp down at for AAU or whatever. It was Nike camp.
Now, when guys like that want to play, they just call any country club.
Well, he called Rich because Rich was involved with the basketball, and Rich has known Mike for a long time. And Rich said, where you want to play? And Rich worked for Enterprise for a long time, or the Capital Group, which owned Boone Valley, Doug Albrecht and the crew and the Taylor family. So he chose there. And then I guess somebody said, hey, how would you like to play a Warson? So they called somebody at OW. Probably Garth.
Garth got him on.
Yeah.
Garth Brooks.
Garth Byer.
Oh. Yeah. Garth Butcher?
Byer. Retiring after a...
Well, what do you have against Garth Butcher?
I don't have anything.
A lot of people didn't like that trade, though. I mean, great guy, but didn't like the trade.
I don't think he was that good a player, to be honest.
It sounds like he just dismissed him completely from the golf.
I don't think he was. He might have been a better golfer than a hockey player. I had a lot of his cards when I got into card business.
Did Jordan have to peel off some cash to you?
Not to me. I ended up losing 130.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He came back. He played really well at OW.
So even for that relative small amount of money,
2 days,
especially to him. He's competing like it's
the U.S. Open.
Really?
Almost to the point where, take it easy, dude. I mean, let's have some fun. You got nothing to worry about the rest of your life.
You couldn't move your ball in the fairway or the rough or anywhere. You can't.
I mean, he's
like PGA rules.
Well, he at the time thought that maybe he would someday be a Champions Tour player or whatever.
Did he really?
He's a cash game player. I mean, he's a money player is what he is.
Yeah.
No, when you say that, what does that mean?
I mean,
he could play in the Fan Page Club Championship?
Exactly. He'd be he might throw in the 9 or the 8 like Angry, but then he'll surprise you with a birdie somewhere out of nowhere.
And he could bet any amount of money, and it's not going to hurt him if he loses.
He's not even thinking
there's
about
no pressure on him.
He said
but
to me,
on you.
He said, what can you bet that won't hurt you too bad? And I said, 50. But it could have hurt me bad.
If you were better, why don't you just bet him like 50,000 and take a shot, and then if you lose, just run away.
I wouldn't have had the 50,000.
Yeah, but Doug said run away.
Run away.
Yeah,
I'm a really good runner.
Think you could outrun him?
No. He just, the most unique. I mean, he lived. I've been around a lot of people. I've been very, very lucky. I've never been around anybody like this kid. I mean, he lived up to the hype. He the biggest smack talker ever. Unbelievable.
What would you guys BS about when you're in the cart?
What's Tiger like? We talked about his favorite courses, what he, how much golf he wanted to play, what he thought his future
What year
was
was
in
this?
sports. This was 2004. 2004, summer 2004.
When did he stop playing for the Wizards?
I want to say maybe 2 years before.
So he was done?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was done. He was getting into. He may have had a piece of the Hornets or whatever.
Already had a piece.
He
Well,
may,
still
he
does.
may have. He's the managing partner. But I mean, he just was. He was everything you would want him to be and more.
Right.
I
Did he
mean,
ever sell that house in Chicago that I kept seeing online for?
It was always online.
$30 million.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's so big, nobody wanted to touch it.
And I think he had so much money that he lost track of some of it, and the gambling, and I don't know, and the divorces. Or the divorce. But he really, like I said, greatest guy I've ever met, and I met a lot of them.
Anna Marie's listening to this segment, Jennings, and as you might recall, this is how the Naughty Nine was crowned because her and her 8 friends were hanging out in Las Vegas when Jordan invited them to go to dinner, and it was Oakley, the Bobo.
The Bobo.
I think
Big
it
Mike.
might have been Richard Dent, maybe?
That wouldn't surprise me.
And but Jordan had, I guess at that time, and I guess he was divorced at the time, he had a girl.
He did not have a gal in town. Not that I knew of.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. And the thing that just stunned me, we get done playing at Warson, and there was a wedding going on. And we're sitting in the halfway house area drinking, and here comes the mother of the bride. And I'm going, oh, here we go. And they're going to be trying to bug Jordan. And I wonder how he's going to react. The lady said, Mr. Jordan, my daughter's getting married today. And if there's any way you'd just take one picture with her and her husband, he jumps up out of his seat and he goes, I'll take whatever you want.
How about that?
I mean...
How about 23, Doug? Or 45. You were a 45 guy.
Right. I mean, just legit. And I kind of looked at Ozzy like...
Jessica Moy quit playing basketball in the prime of his career to play minor league baseball.
Yeah, there's the question.
We did not get into any of that or his pops or anything like that. It was just fun.
Well, you just wanted to take a shot with the Barons. What's wrong with that?
That might have ended your day with Jordan.
No, it was it's like an out-of-body experience.
Not bad.
God, people are loving this.
No, it was unique. He, I mean, like I said, I've been lucky. I rode in a limousine when I was 9 years old with Ted Kennedy. And
how in the world did that work out?
My
grandfather's a U.S. senator.
My grandfather was running for his Senate seat in '78, and Kennedy was going to run in '80.
For president, right?
For president. So Kennedy...
Did he? He did.
Well, he did. It stopped, and then they stopped. They knew he couldn't win. And it ended up being Reagan versus...
Carter,
correct. But there was a thought that he was going to try and enter as a third... and try and take Carter out.
Yeah.
So we pick him up at this airport, and the first thing that happened was they brought in... This is in a limousine. And they bring this little styrofoam box, and they put it on the seat, And here comes Kennedy. And my dad knew him, and obviously my grandfather knew him. And I mean to tell you, for the 15-minute ride that we had, Ted Kennedy and I we just destroyed these meatballs.
Meatballs?
I mean to tell you,
Swedish meatballs?
I don't know whether they were Swedish, they were spicy, they were barbecue, and it looked like
toothpicks in them.
Ted and I we handed them,
grabbed them.
I mean, it was unbelievable, and I'll never forget. As we got a little further down the road in West Virginia, there were people lining the streets, and he asked my grandfather. He said, "Jennings, would it be okay if I got out and shook some hands?" And I'll never forget thinking to myself, let me tell you something. If two of my brothers have been assassinated, I'm not getting out of the car and wheeling West Virginia to shake somebody's hand. He was unique, very unique.
They were lined up for him?
They were lined up for him and, Senator Randolph and all that. I'll never forget being at the court steps, and they dressed me up in, the tie and all that jazz.
You were looking good that day.
Yeah,
boy.
I had
Except for some meatball stains.
I can't imagine the meatballs. I paid $1,000 for those meatballs.
They were good.
So I'm standing up on this. There's people out in the audience. And I'll never forget this little kid in like a jumps like a farm suit. He wearing a farm overalls. And the little kid just flipping me off.
Why?
Because who knows? I'm standing up there with the U.S. He didn't like spoiled rich kid from the Lou.
And didn't your father sit on FDR's lap?
The man remembers feeling the braces when he sat on FDR's lap at the White House.
How about that?
His leg braces from the polio.
Yep.
Now, I had Brianna Banks sit on my lap in Washington Park in 2002, and she signed the Polaroid "Lick Me Silly," and I thought that would be a highlight of the show. But instead, we have a gentleman whose father sat on FDR's lap and felt the braces.
Pretty scary. And now I do foot fetishes.
Did he meet him? How far you've come.
Yeah.
They'd have been proud if you'd mentioned that in the limo that day.
Hey, Ted, guess what?
He might have been. He would have been.
Oh, I hope I make it.
There it is, story time with Jennings. I didn't realize that it weaved from Jordan to Ted Kennedy.
Yeah, same day.
Yep.
Yeah, Jay was not just a great guy and so much fun to be around. He was a talented broadcaster.
Yeah.
He really was he could do anything. I saw him a couple times, one time anyway, where he was hosting, some pro was in town. He was hosting a clinic, and there was hundreds of people there, and he was just fantastic as host of that. Yeah, he was really quite good. As you can tell, his ability to tell a story, you can imagine that he was a fabulous broadcaster as well.
Well, just to know how many people knew him and knew his dad and how they respected him, producing Fairways and Greens was the easiest thing I ever did. So all I had to do was make a phone call.
Yeah.
Mr. Palmer, J Randolph Jr. is doing a show. What time you need me?
Wow.
Jack Nicholas Palmer. It didn't matter who I called. I could say, hey, this is Kenny Stroke from Fairways and Greens. Who? I produce this for J Randolph Jr. Oh, Jay, what do you want to do? They would. Nobody said no, and everybody in the golf community knew who Jay was.
Yeah, you lined up Arnold Palmer once for me and Bernie Miklasz, and we blew it. Remember that one?
I probably mentioned Jay's name there too. Hey, a friend of J Randolph Jr. Oh yeah.
Doug, now the story about Jordan and Ted Kennedy. Wonderful. I think you were out because I can picture Jennings sitting over there when this happened. He was not, however, a fan of the idea of the NIT possibly coming to St. Louis.
Oh, he wasn't.
This is from earlier this year. Jennings talking about listening to
out of nowhere.
He was very unhappy, if memory serves, about the idea of people being excited that St. Louis would possibly have the Final Four of the NIT.
I'm driving in this morning and I hear Tommy Ack, who I should have been.
You should have been Tom Ack?
Yeah, that's what I should have been Tom Ackerman.
Really?
Jay's kid, nice, straight, whole deal.
Terrible human being Tom Ackerman is.
Awful. Just a terrible, mean,
very difficult to get along with.
Mean person.
We're kidding, by the way.
No, Tommy Ack's the best, but he's all excited because the commission might put in a bid for the NIT. If Madison Square Garden, who's hosted it since the Peach Baskets, doesn't want the NIT anymore, we don't want the NIT.
Where would it go?
Enterprise.
He said Enterprise, and then he said, but don't forget Chaffetz. And I'm like,
a little small.
I mean,
the shift is a little small, and Enterprise, I don't even know.
I'm like, get me to TMA.
Well, maybe Madison Square Garden's tired of it, and Sports Commission trying to step up.
Wouldn't that be exciting to bring the 4 teams that couldn't make the tournament to come play in our big-time city?
How many teams make the NIT? Is it 18?
It was 32 at one time. I don't know.
Billikens went to the championship game. Did they go back-to-back years to the championship game? They lost to St. John's one year.
Did they play in the championship both or make it to the Final Four both? The NIT? I don't know.
The championship for both.
32 teams.
Okay.
Still 32 teams?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I mean, Jackson, you're a hoop nut.
That's right.
Hoop nut.
I mean, would there be parades around town?
No, I mean, I don't think it would be like the world's biggest, but it'd be cool. I mean,
why would it be cool?
You would get a lot of
What would be cool about having, you have 68 teams now, or how many in the regular draw?
68.
Yep. 68, okay. So then you've got the next 32. And the best of those, 4 of them would come to the Lou and get it on.
Yeah, that would be, as long as we didn't lose the 2 to 4 tournament games we get a year.
The NCAA tournament.
Yeah, those are awesome. I just think St. Louis getting more stuff is never bad. Like, I don't see why that would be a bad thing. I'm not saying, like, I'm going to go bananas and throw a parade, but yeah, it'd be cool to have the NIT Final
big a
Four.
feather in our cap. I'd rather have a
we shouldn't
LPGA event. That ain't saying much.
You have a problem with like the wrestling finals here, the college wrestling
that's
finals
fine.
here? Why?
Because that's the best of the best. That's the NCAA tournament. They bring their families. They bring all kind of people.
Well, I think the NCAA would too.
You mean the NIT? Don't
the NIT? Well, it's the NCAA.
All right. Well, maybe I'm wrong. You know what? The NIT is the greatest friggin' thing of all time.
I'm not saying it's the greatest, but it doesn't hurt to bring things.
God, I can't wait. I'm going to start saving money to get my courtside seats near Rammer and Earl.
You won't, but people will.
Oh no. What do you mean people will?
What do you think? Nobody's going to show up?
I'd love to get the text inbox. How many people today, when they're hearing that the
Jackson are using the poll on the
yeah, I don't throw it up there.
Yeah, how many?
We have that feature. I don't know how often it's been used.
How many people will start saving their money today?
I don't think our text inbox would be a barometer on that.
To get their house in order so they can get some big time ducats.
Well, don't forget about tourism.
To see Valpo. Yeah, they just come in with 20,000 people come in, and you know what? Every one of them would ride the wheel. They'd all ride the wheel. They'd all get the chocolate down at Union Station and see the aquarium.
The fudgery?
I mean,
North Carolina could be in the NIT.
Duke has an off year. They make the NIT finals.
They wouldn't go.
No, I'm wrong. The NIT is the greatest thing that could happen to the
I didn't say that. I just said I don't see what the problem is bringing something here.
I'm with Iggy. There's no problem in doing. I think it'd be good.
Wonderful.
Well, Madison Square Garden's had it for 50, 60 years. You're going to bitch at them because they have it every year.
They're not happy with you.
You just
text
said
inbox, Jennings.
You just said why would
I don't care.
But you preface that by saying why would the Met?
They're not happy with me on the YouTube. They're not happy anywhere. This could be my final week.
Big Dallas Daddy.
Yeah, I could give a rat's ass that the NIT would be coming to St. Louis. And in all honesty, if you think it's a great thing, you don't like me.
We made reference there to Big Dallas Daddy, and I believe we have the audio of what happened later in the show or later in the week with Big Dallas Daddy. Doug, take a listen if you would.
All right.
Iggy, we didn't get to 1,000 yesterday when Learn was in studio, but Jackson, I think we came super close.
Just a sec.
What
I want to tell Big Dallas Daddy who keeps.
What's going on? What's going on?
He's about to get blocked, Jackson.
What's going on? I don't even know who's Big Dallas Daddy. Is this in the text?
Oh my God! Bring back Learn, for the love of golf. I'm bored. Big Dallas Daddy. Where's TMA? Is this the golf channel? Here, we're over in Creve Coeur. Black polish would be best. Get your shine box, Big Dallas Daddy, and bring your ass over here. I said ass, not with the H.
Right.
And shine my shoes.
You want Big Dallas Daddy to bring a shine box over.
You know, that's the thing.
You know, hold your jewelry.
You hold my watch. You know, it's just
keep them here.
It's unbelievable how stupid some of the people are.
You wouldn't do well with the balloon party text line.
It's just, you know, it's a waste of time, Big Dallas Daddy.
I'm not familiar with the name Big Dallas Daddy.
It's probably somebody, you know, that is on disability. And not offense to people that are on disability. I don't want to say that. But it's just play another game. It's like I won't say his name because he gets upset when you say his name, but he wants his name said.
I don't know what's going on. That's Big Dallas Daddy?
So cryptic.
He said something on the fan page last night. Not Big Dallas Daddy. This is another scrub. And he made a comment. I said that learn is one of the neats. And I had 6 people liked it or something. And here comes a guy and he says, "Don't scare her, Jay." And I just had to slap him and put him in his place. I said, "Look, dog.
What's going on?
Look, dog. I've hung with Learn. It'll be all right. Go back to playing one of your word games. I mean, don't let it bother you. If you don't like the golf talk, go listen to some other dumb show. We'll talk about. You know what? We could sit. Bennington sucks. Guy won us a cup, but he sucks. He should be the backup. These Blues. How many more games they got left before it even friggin' matters?
I believe it's 37 more regular season games. Iggy, is that correct? I know you're tracking.
The popularity and the baseball popularity is just off the charts. It's right there with the Olympic Winter Games.
To me, you hear the word Olympics, and this is where you go. You go Dear Deidre right away. You can pivot right to Dear Deidre.
That's fine. I was just showing you that all he says is negative
I understand
stuff
that, but I
about
want to do this for who's your guy? Dallas Big Daddy?
Dallas Daddy or Daddy Does Dallas.
Stuck in a rut of work.
The line, "I don't give a rat's ass." You like the NIT.
If you heard in there very briefly when he was talking about that, he goes, "Wee!" That started in the Dominican Republic. And I hit one golf shot right that went into the Atlantic. And I just hit it. It was kind of ballooning. And as it's slicing into the Atlantic, I'm going, "Wee!" And every shot I hit after that, Jay started, "Wee!" The caddy started going, "Iggy, wee!"
Oh.
And that stuck with us forever. Every time I'd say something, Jay just goes, "Ha ha, wee!" And that's the first time I think I ever heard him say it on the air, or do that on the air. It was funny.
From the 314, I can't believe he's gone. I'm laughing my ass off all morning. From Manute Bowl eligible, I'm actually crying tears of laughter. The Shine Box reference is my favorite Jayism. Miss you, Junior. That is from Manute Bowl eligible.
Is that from Goodfellas with Joe Pesci telling him how to go get his Shine Box?
Yeah, that's where it started.
What was great was he
I think Frank, what's the guy's name?
Frank Vincent.
Frank Vincent told Joe Pesci to get a Shine Box.
Shine Box. And Jay would, sometimes he just...
Pesci told him to keep him here.
Sometimes he would just shorten it. He would just like, look at it, he goes, "Shine him up." Shine him up. And he'd hold his foot out. If the guy would walk by him, he goes, "Shine him up."
I love how Jay interrupted. Tim was weaving into something. He goes, "Wait. We need to have."
He needs to go back to Big Dallas Daddy.
Jay had time that day. He was ready to talk.
Here is a quick cut of Jay going after the listeners again. Take a listen.
Is that the fan page one?
I don't know. It just says a quick cut of Jay going after listeners. Clip 9, 44 seconds.
I got you.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I saw some dumbass on the fan page.
Oh, no.
You're loaded for bear.
Yeah,
I like this.
I'm just tired of certain
Go ahead. Let it all out.
This guy we put on there, "I don't know about you guys, but I turn the dial when the Game of Thrones talk comes on." Good. Turn it. Turn that sucker. Nothing wrong with that.
Cut that off.
That's what I do when I don't like something.
Yeah. Instead of complaining about it, you just find something you like.
And everybody, "Well, I like it. I don't like it either." Shut up. Because I'm getting real tired of some of these listeners.
They got the fever going.
Real tired of them. I liked it back when nobody knew where you were. Put that in your foot fetish, Friday.
He was phenomenal with those quick ones.
God bless.
I love when Joe would come in with thoughts just like that NIT day. When he'd have something prepared, and he'd be like, I'm ready to dig in. Like I said, he had time that day.
Tom Ackerman's excited about the NIT Final Four. Oh, my God. Oh, who would have thought?
I had so many tapes of Jay from Fairways and Greens, and a lot of people don't know this. Whenever I talk about Kegler's Corner, Jay started Kegler's Corner with me. He was the very first host of Kegler's Corner. And I actually had some old tapes of him doing Kegler's Corner that are just hilarious. And
did he know a lot about bowling?
Yeah, because his dad, Senior, used to do play-by-play for the summer tour with Earl Anthony and every once in a while Mike Durbin. But Jay was the voice of that. So Jay got into bowling, but yeah, it was me and him. And and Jay, if Jay made a mistake or said something, he would just like shake it off and go right on. We had some guy on. We were promoting a golf tournament about prostate health, and so Jay's got him on. He goes, "You know, Doc, one thing you never hear about women and prostate problems." The doctor goes, "Well, women don't have prostates." He goes, "Okay, what time's this tournament again tomorrow?" He would just go right by it.
I know we do have this clip. We can obviously don't want to play it without, but the Normandy rant, because we talked about earlier about kind of those being posted throughout the weekend. You know, his little videos, 2-3 minutes at Normandy,
Vignettes.
just pointing out.
Yeah, we have that. We have the Seika Kitten Natividad for Friday Friday. We have the Caden Cross FFF, where Doug was discussing, I believe, your favorite quarterbacks to lead you down the field with 2 minutes left.
It's an important topic, and we were a sports station. I felt that one of us ought to talk sports.
And a compilation of Jay's daddy rants from the Normandy Pro Shop. All of that coming up, as much as we can get in anyway. That coming up in the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour, along with Jeff Smith, who he did fairways and greens with for a number of years. More commonly as Smitty will be joining us coming up at 9 o'clock as we continue to pay tribute to the great J Randolph Jr. Send your emails in, your texts in with your tributes to Jennings, 314-881-TMA5, Engineered Design Facilities text inbox, or email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Making a delicious drink should be as easy and simple as pouring a glass of wine, and now it is, thanks to Batch & Bottle's new ready-to-serve cocktails, all containing super premium spirits like the Hendricks Gin Martini, Glenfiddich Single Malt Manhattan, Reka Rhubarb Cosmo, and Monkey Shoulder Lazy Old Fashioned. Don't spend your next party in the kitchen shaking and stirring while your guests have a good time without you. Like a cock, treat them and yourself to Batch & Bottle's premium ready-to-serve cocktails. Batch & Bottle premium pre-batch cocktails imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York. Doug, could you tell us about Bertarelli Cutlery?
Oh, Bertarelli. Yeah, it is the holiday season already, and we all know that getting a gift for that special somebody isn't always easy. We've got some ideas for you. If you or anyone you know is looking for a gift that is a cut above the rest, let me suggest you go check out the fine folks at Bertarelli Cutlery. Bertarelli Cutlery is a locally owned family business that has been an institution on the Hill since 1974, so support local and swing on down to the Hill. I don't know why every time you go to the Hill you're swinging down there. It doesn't seem like you swing down anywhere else. But when you go to the Hill, you swing on down there and you see our friends at Bertarelli Cutlery. They have an awesome showroom there with a variety of kitchen tools and gadgets and mixers and, of course, some world-class knives. They got those Wusthof knives. If you haven't seen those, you would love those. Also, they'll sharpen your knives at Bertarelli just in time for Thanksgiving. Slice your turkey up like a pro with your freshly sharpened tools courtesy of Bertarelli. Don't settle for a gift card or that same lame sweater this holiday season. Instead, you should cut to the chase and choose Bertarelli for a fine gift down there that she would like or anyone else would like. Located at 1927 Marconi Avenue on the Hill. You can call them. I'll give the phone number now. 314-664-4005. Here it is again, 314-664-4005. Or visit them online at bertarellico.com. Thank you, Marco Bertarelli, our longest-running sponsor on The Morning After.
Great to have a new sponsor on board as well. That's Andrea's Restaurant. Hand-cut steaks brushed in the famous Andrea's Steakhouse at Andrea's Restaurant. It's perfect for special occasions, anniversaries, birthdays, holiday parties, engagements, and it's not just for steak lovers. They're also serving grilled tuna, broiled salmon, Chilean sea bass, and chicken entrees, 24-ounce prime rib appeals to the walrus crowd. And, Doug, we have a few walrus listeners.
Yeah, a couple, three.
Iggy's lesbian uncle would not approve of the size of their meat because it's so big. It's a place to take your wife, not your cucky, and it is family-owned and operated since 1978. Loyal listeners own and operate Andrea's. Started as a speakeasy format and grew into a white tablecloth restaurant. It is Andrea's Steakhouse. You know about the sauce. Experience the restaurant online at ANDRIAS.com. That's Andrea's Steakhouse. Check it out. It is phenomenal. That's Andrea's Steakhouse. Send your emails in for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Your tributes to the great Jennings Randolph Jr. Jeff Smith joining us in the 9 o'clock hour, as well as some of our favorite J Randolph Jr. segments in the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. This is the Ryan Kelly morning after closing out the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
The best authentic Southwestern cuisine awaits you at Santa Fe Bistro in Creve Coeur. Open for lunch and dinner with happy hour Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and Saturdays, 2:30 to 4. Daily drink and entree specials and 72 tequilas, as well as a vast selection of beer on draft and by the bottle. Wear a jersey or team gear for Blues and NFL games and get a free drink with the purchase of an entree. Nothing says authentic Southwestern cuisine quite like Santa Fe Bistro, west of 270 on Olive. Same plaza as the old TGI Fridays location. Full menu at SantaFeBistroMO.com.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, rates are high, but you're still finding a way to get people a good mortgage. How do you do it?
Now, we work really hard for our clients. We watch the markets. We watch the rates. They swing a quarter point a day some days right now. And that's why you need an expert to lock you in at the right time. And then we have these incredible programs like our Interest Rate Rewind, where for the first year, your rate will be 2 full points lower. The second year, a point lower. And then year 3, it goes to the current rate. Thinking about buying a house? Maybe a refinance? Got questions? Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. This is Tim McKernan to tell you about Sound Story. If you're looking for the perfect holiday gift for your mother or father or your grandparents, you can find it at mysoundstory.com. And this week only through Black Friday, Sound Story gift cards are 20% off when you enter promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com. With Sound Story, you have the choice of Doug Vaughn, Action Jackson, or myself to interview your mother, or your father, or your grandmother, your grandfather, or yourself to record life stories and wisdom for your family for years to come. It's the kind of gift that you'll never regret giving, and it's the rare gift that everyone will love, not just this year, but for years to come. Just go to mysoundstory.com and get our Black Friday week special of 20% off the cost of a Sound Story gift certificate by entering promo code GIFT, and you will be giving your family the gift of keeping your family's story saved forever. It's Sound Story. Promo code GIFT at mysoundstory.com. Guess what? TMA is giving out end-of-the-year awards to TMA fans.
It's happening December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield.
And we'd like all of you to be there.
You think we're going to have an award for the most misshapen head?
Cool, man. Not cool. But maybe we'll do most translucent skin, though.
How about the most perverted show member with bleached blonde hair?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, off.
You ashen sweet potato.
This award ceremony is more about the listeners. Best texter, best caller, best emailer, or maybe we'll point out the worst caller, and who should be Listener of the Year. It's the TMA End of the Year Awards, Thursday, December 8th at Harpo's in Chesterfield. By the way, former adult film actress Lisa Ann will be joining the event. Presented by Munganast St. Louis Acura and Munganast Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer. Who should win? Who will win? Who cares? Please bring a new and unwrapped toy for Annie's Hope on behalf of our good friend J Randolph Jr. And you get in for free.
My head's not
I've never been
blonde hair costs $100.
Getting tanner. My hair's
Find out more at TMASTL.com.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular carne con cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalita'scantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's sports talk with Tim McKernan and Ashton Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
I'm as moist as a freshly baked Betty Crocker cake.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT-FM HD2,
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Welcome back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. This is the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, the Plowhawk Action Jackson with you here on the program. And it has been and will continue to be a tribute to J Randolph Jr. Throughout the course of the program. Your stories, your tributes, send them in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, which comes your way at 9:45. The Morning After at InsideSTL.com. Stratum Structural Systems is a wonderful sponsor, and I am a client of Stratum Structural Systems. Online at stratumrepair.com, 314-620-8153. Work with Matt Ford and Brett Groman at Stratum. And when you call them, let them know you're a TMA listener, and you get $100 off your repair project. For foundation peering, for waterproofing, it's Stratum Structural Systems. They've saved the day for me 2 different times, 2 different years, and I would recommend them to anybody quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's Stratum at stratumrepair.com, 314-620-8153. That's Stratum Structural Systems with Matt Ford and Brett Groman. Well, few people knew J Randolph Jr. better than our next guest. Jeff Smith worked with him for a number of years, both on Fairways and Greens and at Walters Golf, and it is our pleasure to welcome him to the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone lines to talk about our dear friend Jennings Randolph Jr. Smitty, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good, all things considered. It has been fun to relive stories and laugh about somebody we all loved so much and somebody you knew incredibly well. Smitty, when you think about Jennings, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I can't tell you that story.
I was afraid of that.
I can't tell you, and I can't tell you the second one, or the 10th one, or the 51st one. So we're kind of in like the 55th story range because this is a family show. I know it is.
It is. It is a family show, indeed.
You know, he and I did radio together for 21 years. I mean, he drugged me along like I was his little puppy. This obviously isn't the best, but I'm coming home from L.A. and he's coming back from the East Coast, and we're doing a show at this time, 5:50 for Merrill Hansen, and it was probably the most lucrative hour we ever did in our 21 years together. And I land, I go straight to the studio. Jay's not there, he's not coming. Big surprise. And I called him. I said, Jennings, I haven't seen the paper. I haven't seen the tour event. I have no idea what's going on. And we were doing the hour before Costas Coast to Coast, and he just in his happenstance manner says, Steady, don't worry. Other than your mother, nobody's listening. And just how he was, you know, he just had a way of making you feel good. And, you know, you say we were together a long time. You know, I remember like it was yesterday, 1992, May of 1992, Media Day, Belle Reve. So it was 1992. He was born January 31st of 69, so he's 23 years old. And he's playing in a group behind us. And I know his dad really well, but I don't hardly know from Junior. I mean, we were 8 years apart, and, which is 2 presidencies. We get done, and we're sitting on a patio, and we're drinking a couple beers, and I see this little semi-heavy-set kid sitting over to the side, and he's drinking a Budweiser, and Senior says, where are you going? I said, well, I got to take Daly downtown because he's throwing out the first pitch at the Cardinal game. He said, why don't you take the kid with you? I said, I don't know. You want to go with us? He said, yeah, I'll go with you. So he jumps in the car, And one thing led to another, the ball game, and then AJ's, or at the Adams Mark, and then Pops. And all of a sudden, we're sitting on one of these little curb things over at Pops and waiting for Daly to come out, and I realized the sun's coming up. And I had to take him straight to the radio station because he was at KSP at the time doing a morning show. And he lasted on the air 40 minutes. He was so hammered. And Rich Gray was either there or he called in and said, enough, you got to get him off the air. So then, in all my glory, he got no car. I'm just as bad as he is. I got to drive down there and pick him up. So that's how it all began. That is how it all began. His mom said to me the other day, I told her the story. I said, do you remember when it began? And she said, yeah, I don't know, tell me. So I told her, and she said, I don't believe he came home that night. I said, no, I started to tell the story before the sun came up part, but, we traveled together. One vivid memory I have is we were on the Disney cruise together with our children when I get this knock on the door. It's the middle of the afternoon, and Jennings is standing there with this dazed look on his face, and he just walks right into the room, the way he would, and he said, turn on the TV. And I said, what? He goes, turn on the TV. And we turned on the TV, and this was apropos for he and I, but Payne Stewart's plane is going through the air with no pilot and no frosted windows, and we went through that entire Payne Stewart experience together, just like we went through the Payne Stewart experience on the other side, at Pinehurst when he made that final putt and beat Phil Mickelson on the 18th hole, the 72nd hole of the United States Open to win. I could tell you 100 stories. I'll bet we traveled to 60 major championships together. And I told Claibs and Dave and Sarah B this morning, it's surreal to me. I wake up every morning and I ask myself, did it really happen? And, I still can't accept the fact he's gone. It's fact, but I'm having a hard time accepting it.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about, thanks for joining us, Smitty, that the good thing is that Jay got to see how many people really loved him the last week or so. And people handle things differently. I'm not really good at it. I don't like being sad. But then you get to talk about the stories and relive all the great times you had together. And I think that's what we take going forward, is that he left us with so many great stories that you're never going to forget. And I think that's how we kind of get through this, is just how great of a guy he was, how good of friends he was with everybody. And then we get to relive this.
Yeah, another story comes to mind, and it included Dave Green. And actually, if you ask Timmy kind of got a one leg up and got to go on one of these trips because at the 11th hour, I couldn't go.
I was wondering how that happened when I went to the 1998 PGA Championship.
Yeah, at Tahali and
yes,
outside of Seattle. And, Jay didn't like learning things. So somebody had to run the board and somebody had to set up, all the stuff when we did radio on the road. So I always did that because Greg Marisek wouldn't pay for an engineer, God rest his soul, wouldn't pay for an engineer to go with us. So when I couldn't go, Timmy got to jump on the plane and go to that PGA Championship. Well, Dave Green kind of got the same opportunity years before. And we were going to Chicago for a major event. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Big Bar at the Hyatt, but that's literally what they call it, the Big Bar. And it's a big bar. And Clark's about 4 days, and last the Hyatt about 4 months. And we're sitting there, and we're having fun, and Dave gets up and goes to the bathroom, and he comes back, and he's freaking crying. And Jay looks at him like, what's wrong with you? He says, I thought he was going to say he got a phone call, something happened to somebody in his family. I mean, he's crying. Crying. And he said, I'm just having so much fun. I'm so happy I just started crying. And I thought to myself many, many times, Jay and I teased him 100,000 times about it, but Jay was so much fun, he could bring somebody to tears. And he was. He was. He had his way about him. When I said it was surreal this morning, Claves texted me back, and you guys are going to understand this. Iggy, you better than most. He said, every time I tell my girlfriend a story, this is Claves talking, he said, I fully expect the phone to ring and Jay to either ask me a question or tell me that someone is a scrub. Because, as he got older, he didn't tell people that, and maybe it was, he grew into his grandfather's more political position or his father's never say a bad word about anybody in public position. But, when we did radio early on, I would cringe because he would just rail on somebody. or he used to pick on Jerry Ray so bad at Paradise Valley, and he'd talk about, the golf course. And Jerry had done so much to the golf course, and he was so proud of it. And Jay would just rail on it. And he did this ad that said, just 20 minutes from the airport. 20 minutes from downtown. And Jay would say, 20 minutes by chopper, maybe. I had to explain to him that, everybody's golf course was their own little Belle Reve. And, that they were proud of it. And he couldn't he said, hey, did I say anything that wasn't true? And Jerry wasn't the only one. Nobody was safe. Nobody was safe.
No, Smitty, I have this story, and I don't know why you weren't there, because I know we were at the merchandise show, and I don't know if you left early, maybe that's Saturday, because you had to get home for something, because I know it was Super Bowl Sunday. And Jay and I just went to this bar to watch the game. And they're like 5 minutes into the first quarter, and Jay and I are sitting there watching the game. And in comes all of these people dressed in outfits. And we find out it's karaoke night at this bar. And they're all dressed in like the costumes that they're going to sing in, and they took it so seriously. They had their mixtapes ready to go. And lo and behold, they turned the game off and start doing this karaoke. And Jay's going ballistic. What the hell's going on here? And the guy, I think Jay may still have the menu that I said, I got to get this done for him because he's so ballistic from all these people. I had all these wannabes sign this menu. And one of the guys' name was White Wing. And Jay's going, White Wing, the game is on. What is going on in this place? He's going ballistic. And they would start singing, and Jay would interrupt them. Somebody score? We don't know. Game's not on. And I said, why don't we just go someplace else and watch the game? Wouldn't it be easier? Oh, God, I was laughing my ass off. And he's just going ballistic at these people.
My daughter even got into the act. Taylor was probably like 3 or 4. And we were sitting in my family room, and it was just Jay and I and he. And all of a sudden, she looks up in that little 4-year-old voice and says, Uncle Jay, you look like a panda bear. And he kind of looked at her, and he looked at me, and he said, you know what, she's kind of right. And so for Christmas that year, Taylor and I got him a pendant that we had made, and it was, a gold pendant that he wore on a chain for a long time around his neck, which was a little panda bear. And, that's how, my kids grew up with Uncle Jay. just the way it was. I quit smoking multiple times and started again multiple times because I would be somewhere with Jay. And, oh, God, Iggy, how many darts do you think we smoked out in front of the building at every break, before and after? I mean, we kept J Randolph in business.
Yeah, and he never used an ashtray. And at one point, I had to go pick them all up because Leighton started yelling, and I said, I guess I'll get them. But
yeah, Jennings wasn't big on ashtrays. He got better late in his career, you know.
So many great times, especially when you tie in fairways and greens, whether it was in the early days after the show, we'd always go out, me, you, Jay, and Birch, and go to the clubhouse, and Jay would just sit there and stare at Ann behind the bar, and our Saturday gin games with me, you, Jay, and Shogi. And I would say to Jay, I always had to play with Jay, and I would knock. I said, okay, Jay, I got 8 points, and here comes Jay. Gin me. He ginned me. Will you win a game? Next, I'd get 20 off of Shogi. Here's Jay. I lost 60. After a few months, I'd say, you know what? Every time we play, we lose, but I'm the one winning, and are you losing on purpose? All three of you guys splitting this money against me? To the point he would just laugh. He goes, yeah, I'm losing on purpose to win your $4. But just so many great things we did together.
I saw a picture of him and I and Shogi the other day, and you know, Patty keeps bringing these pictures out, and these aren't on her phone, boys. These are the Kodak. You know, these are like 4x6s from Walgreens. I mean, I'm like, holy cow! You know, it's hard for me to think. You know, please don't take this morbid, but it makes me understand that I'm getting older. You know, when Patty and I got married, Jay was my best man. He's still my best man. And it was Jay, Jimmy Bubba Gessling, Garth Beyer, and my brother-in-law, John Kelly, from the Blues. And shortly after his passing, it dawned on me that half of the people that were important enough to be in Patty and I's wedding were gone. And not a good feeling. But when I think about the amount of fun that I had with Bubba and Jay, maybe the Lord took them both to prolong my life.
I mean, yeah, you're talking about two of the all-time greats there, Smitty.
Oh, I mean, I go back. You know, one thing I got to say, and I don't want this going without being said. You know, I experienced Jay's romance and marriage to Suzanne, and we had a lot of fun together. But I would be remiss if I did not give some accolade to Amy LaBelle. I mean, she meant so much to Jay the time that they were together. He would often refer to her as his rock. Yeah. And I guess a lot of us didn't really understand that until Amy picked up the ball when Jay got sick and carried it to the finish line like few would. Yep. Like few would. Just showed true love and affection for Jay. I talked to his mom the other day, and I mean, to the end, guys, to the end. So he was having a pretty good night a few nights before he died, and God, it's hard to say the word died. You catch yourself saying it, but it's hard to say it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to speak in the past tense.
So it was a few nights before he went away. I think he was just on vacation. And he was having a good night, and Amy kept asking him questions. And he kind of rolled over and looked at her, one eye closed, one eye open, and said, hey, I'm not going to die tonight. Ask me in the morning. And it's just the way he was. I mean, would you quit? Would you quit with the questions? You know, I'm not going to die tonight. And, you know, he had a great relationship with his kids, Grace and Jennings. You know, he and Jennings spent a load of time together. Jennings worked for us up in Normandy. I got to spend a lot of time with him in his, you know, young adult years, which was good. They ate a lot of Carl's cheeseburgers. They would go shoot hoops. I know it's hard to believe Jennings shooting hoops. But, you know, for those of you that are listening that can't figure out who is who, the original Jennings Randolph was actually a senator from West Virginia. He served on Capitol Hill for 50 years. Jay's dad, who is commonly referred to as Senior, was actually really Junior. And after Senator passed and other things, he migrated to the senior role. Jennings, our Jennings, Jay, was actually Jennings Randolph III. And he just adopted Junior when Pops became Senior. And then his son, Jennings, is actually Jennings Randolph IV. So now more than about 6 people in the world know that.
That is the
you know, Jay's mom and dad adored him. You know, they adore all their children. Brian, who everybody in the family commonly referred to as Connie, and Becky, who everybody referred to as Boo. They were all engaged. Becky came home, visited with Jay before he passed. Brian was very, very engaged as he's involved with Delmar Gardens and was instrumental in getting Pathways Hospice involved. And, you know, that's when I really realized Jay had a realization of what was going on, because Connie always made a really, really, really good breakfast. And Jay loved Brian's breakfast. So a few weeks ago, he picked it up and he went over to the house, and Brian, and I end up changing Brian and Connie sometimes. Brian cooked that big breakfast, and Pops was there, and Sue, his mom, and they all had a really nice visit. But at the end, Jay said, well, I got to go because I got to meet with hospice. And the report I got back was, you know, he felt really comfortable with them, and he liked them. And he knew that he would be taken care of, you know, in connection with Amy's love and his family's love. And, you know, he was freaking something, wasn't he, guys?
It's absolute best, man.
His laughter was infectious. I said this the other day. Jay was the COVID of laughter. I mean, Jay's laughter was pandemical. You know, when he laughed, other people laughed.
Yep, that's true.
And sometimes they didn't even know what they were laughing at. But he was laughing so hard, they felt the need to laugh. He could make fun out of anything. When he said to you guys, when he told everybody his situation, and he said, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the flight? You know, he could make fun of the worst situation in the world. You make fun of the best situation in the world, too.
Yeah.
And like I said, no one was immune, including me, Iggy, Tim, you know, Plowboy. If you got in the way, you were getting whacked.
Smitty, thank you so much for joining us. And I also think that was, I know everybody who knew the situation would agree, but you're the first one to go out of your way to point it out. What Amy did for Jay over the last month and change was nothing short of heroic. And she deserves a hell of a lot of credit for that. So thank you, for making sure you call attention to that.
Just to give you an indication how people loved him. Now, he was down at Sullivan for 2 years. And, I mean, they adored him down there. And the morning after he passed, I got a phone call from the mayor of Sullivan. He said, I understand Jay passed. I just wanted to let you know how sad we all are down here, and would you please let me know what the arrangements are so that we can be properly represented. And I thought, pretty good call from Dennis Watts, the mayor down in Sullivan. It just goes to show how people cared for him.
Yeah, man. Here's a guy just working on a golf course, and he made that impact. That's awesome. I didn't know that story.
He used to say, I sent him to the witness protection. I got Aaron Sullivan in the witness protection program.
And guess what? He turned that course into something where a lot of people were playing every day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People would come out just to see him.
Absolutely, man. That was part of the joy in Normandy, was to go see Jennings. Yep.
There were days I didn't even play golf. I just go sit at the table with him.
Yeah, it's the best. Just sit there and BS. 100%, man. You saw him, you smiled. That's the truth. That really is it. Smitty, this has been outstanding, man.
Danny's out of the lost and found business.
Danny's out of the lost and found.
We have that clip later.
Oh, yeah, we got to play that. Smitty, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Smitty.
I'll see you, boys. Hey, stories keep him alive.
Amen.
Stories keep him alive.
That's the truth.
Tell the stories.
That's the truth.
Thanks,
Jeff
buddy.
Smith with us here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Great to hear those. This would be a perfect time for the compilation. What do we have here? Jay's Daddy Rants from the Normandy Pro Shop. Let's take a listen.
100% my favorites.
Let's say here's an update on the course conditions in case anybody's got a fan page match.
Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy, Jay Jr. I'm not in a good mood because of the rain. I'm in a great mood because of the blues. It's unbelievable. But that doesn't mean I don't want you to come out here to play golf. You don't need to call. We're going to be off the path. We don't have French fries.
No.
And the brats are still not really ready till 10. But I'm coming back. We're going to have some fun. The idiots are driving me crazy out here with just dumb questions. We're going to be cart path only. We're going to be rowboat only for a while. Big shout out to my man Robert Dargan.
Yep.
And big shout out to all the folks that play the game of golf and enjoy the game of golf. Let's go Blues. So welcome to the Pro Shop. Look at our free Dotem sign. Big shout out to Deke Dotem and to Deke's Dime Piece OM. Oh, but then there's a pair of shoes. There's a pair of shoes. There are two pairs of shoes. This is a golf course. Why do we have 4 pairs of shoes in the pro shop? Don't leave your shoes in the pro shop. This ain't Kenny's shoes. This ain't Goodwill. They're going in the trash tomorrow. Don't leave your stuff at the Rock. Let's go Blues. Look at those shoes. Yo, 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 it's your boy Jay Jr. A week from the PGA Championship. You'd think I'd be all fired up. Well, for the second straight day, I've come to Normandy, and people are destroying the restroom. Just destroying the men's room. Dumps like you wouldn't believe. My poor employee yesterday, VIP Pat, Employee of the Year, had to clean up some dude's mess. This morning, I get here, and the first 2 guys that come in, they take a little time, and I go back to pull some carts, and it smells like a sewage department. Just a thought. My friend Doug Vaughn from TMA Live and Channel 4 and all that good stuff, his recommendation is do it at home. Norman, this is not some Roman bath club out here. This is a golf course. I'm thinking about getting porta potties, getting them sponsored, and shutting down the commodes here at the Rock. It's terrible. Daddy is out of the cleaning up dump business. Have a great day.
Oh, I'd never heard that one before.
No, I didn't either.
Oh, my goodness.
So good.
Daddy's out of the dump.
And he was doing like those like once a day. Something was coming up. People were asking if it was going to rain there later that day.
Yeah, he was unhappy about the way he was not a weatherman.
Well, Normandy, if they would have been able to sponsor the porta potties, that would have been a money machine. You know, he would have knocked that out of the park.
God bless.
Shutting down the commodes.
Send your emails in. 10 minutes away from the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. Your tributes to the great Jennings Randolph Jr. here in our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour and throughout the course of the program. Some classic Jay stories and guests super close to him, Dave Green, Mike Claiborne, and Jeff Smith, all giving some perspective on the passing of the great J Randolph Jr. Catch the game in a pint at one of the 2 locations in Sunset Hills in downtown. That's Maggie O'Brien's. Sponsor of the 9 o'clock hour, James Carlton, sponsor of Gabe DeArmond. We moved Gabe to Tuesday. I know a lot of people wanted to hear a breakdown of the New Mexico State game, Doug.
Well,
but we're going to move it to tomorrow.
Okay.
So we could talk about Jay for the entirety of the show. James Carlton, the sponsor of the reports by the Colonel here on TMA and on 101 ESPN. Let's read a Google review. Stephanie at James Carlton's agency is the best. I recently was hit by another vehicle. My van was an accessible vehicle. And Stephanie went out of her way to be a go-between between me and the insurance companies to get them to realize my special needs. With her help, everything turned out great. We have a new van and a good settlement. That's from Daniel Bergman, posted on the Google reviews of James Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. That's James Carlton. He's my insurance agent. I'd like him to become yours. If you have visibility to your company or place of business, commercial fire alarm panel and system, please email fire@edf-rg.com. We'll have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. EDF's fire division is now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. EDF can handle all of your company's security and surveillance needs, from surveillance cameras to access card readers to facial recognition software and everything in between. It's EDF. That's Engineered Designed Facilities. It is 9:37 in St. Louis. You are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our email of the day, presented by the great people at Design Air Heating and Cooling. For timing purposes, I don't think we're going to be able to play the segments because we got Doug. We're up against it.
I think we have the Seika one throughout today. I think that one is in the rotation.
You think that one would fit
for this afternoon? No, I'm talking like in terms of our best of replays.
For 11 minutes. Yeah.
It's 9 minutes.
It's 9 minutes. All right. Then we promised this. We want as many as we can. Doug, the legend Seika was in studio with Kitten Natividad. Seika was a huge star in the, when would you say, 70s and 80s?
Yeah, 70s into the early 80s, I think.
Yeah. Well, we got her in 2012.
Right.
There's a lot of editing on this one.
So maybe 40 years after her prime?
Yeah, she dropped 3 bombs. We were running out of room.
I got them bleeped out.
I don't know how many people remember Napoleon Dynamite, but Napoleon and his brother Kip had an aunt, and they, of course, had a llama. And at that point, Seika reminded me of the ant from Napoleon Dynamite. And I know when I watched Napoleon Dynamite, I thought, boy, I sure would like to suckle upon the toes of Napoleon's aunt.
Oh.
Jay got a chance to do it. Here's the audio of it.
Okay.
The reality of the whole deal. Boy, what a treat we have, though, for you in this segment. Jay Jr. is in.
Hey, Jay.
Fresh off vacation and U.S. Open viewing.
Yes, indeed.
And you are here for a farewell
what I'm calling
edition.
A skin-crawling Friday.
A farewell edition
It
of Foot
sure
Fetish
is.
Friday.
Yep.
Seika and Kitten. How do you say the last name?
I thought forever it was Natividad, but I don't know.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of that.
Yep.
There are a variety of people here.
Handlers, people's brothers are here. This is one of our all times. Yep.
So, Nan, this is our gift to you. To thank you for 3+ years of service, bringing in 2 legends in the adult industry. Granted,
before I was born. But either
that's
way,
evident.
Just about his parents' age, which is every kid's
I'd say
dream.
they're a little older than his parents.
So this is going to be very hot. Why don't we have one of the 20 people working on the show bring in Seika and Kitten, and Jay is going to talk it over with
I think today could be a day Nan gets involved. I think with his going away.
They're in town, of course, for the Contamination Festival with Butch Patrick of the Monsters. Look at this. Here we go, Doug. This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Hey, Kitten. It's tight quarters in here.
Come on in, and now Seika's going to come in, of course, Doug. There we are.
Hardly fit in here.
Now, if Jay can make it work.
The girls hardly fit in here.
Boy, a lot of people in studio, and what a wonderful thing. Ladies, great to have you here. Kitten and Seika, thank you so much for coming in studio.
Yeah, well, thank you for getting our asses up this early.
Oh, man.
What the hell is wrong with you? Who gets up
Ladies, please, we're on the air, and this is a class operation. Jay, take this mic.
Now, Seika, you know Iggy?
Yes, I just spoke to him a few minutes ago.
How do you know Iggy?
From doing interviews.
Have you guys ever...
Look at you, Mike.
Hook up?
Yes.
No.
No.
She got me here.
I think Iggy's hooked up with that Terry Weigel.
Why don't we put the mic between the two ladies
Yes, I want to share.
Nice. Jennings, we're off to a good start.
I want to share. Now, who is it that has the foot fetish?
The gentleman right there with the UFC cap to your right, Seika.
Oh, my God.
What was
I
that?
did this just for you.
Look at
Oh,
that.
nice, Seika.
It's a skin crawling Friday.
She does have nice feet.
Here we go.
And
now there's...
Yeah, Kitten's got gorgeous feet. While you're there, Seika.
We're already playing hard to
I
get.
got a lot of questions for you, Seika.
Feel free to keep rubbing.
All right,
It's okay.
Here we go.
I could use a...
You have worked with one of my favorite performers of all time.
LeVar Burton.
No, Kitten.
Jamie Gillis.
Kay Parker.
Oh, you mean girls? Yeah, I love Kay.
Okay.
I absolutely love Kay.
All right, you definitely look like you enjoyed working with Kay.
Well, there was a lot to love.
Yeah, there was a lot to love.
She had nice twins.
Yes, she did. As you do you.
Jay, you should have made your own sound effect right there.
And of course, Kitten is known worldwide for her her top, you might say.
Oh, I thought for...
Ladies,
Doug, can you say that?
Ladies.
Where? Who are you talking to?
It's a classy operation to run here.
Oh, look, he's so shy.
I am shy.
He's a shy guy.
He won't even look
We
at
have our own. We've got our own.
Look at us.
No,
I was going to say, you brought your own lube?
We keep it here.
Yeah, Lubriderm is the sponsor of the segment. Yeah, why don't you guys lube up?
You see, here's the thing,
I
Kitten.
don't need to.
I'm not afraid to look, but I know what's going to happen in a minute. This gentleman over here to my left will be applying lotion to your feet and breathe.
The best.
Well said. Well done.
We like very safe.
Now, Kitten, how were you that much involved in the porn industry? Because you also did a lot of mainstream films and
What
bit
happened
roles.
to me, I became a drunk and did porn.
A drunk?
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
I had fun.
Are you still drinking?
No.
Good for you.
No.
So you're like, you don't drink at all anymore?
No.
No, really? Okay.
I do.
You do, Seika? Seika does.
I didn't drink when I did porn. I do now.
Do now.
She drinks for me.
Now, are you guys still active in the industry? Are you still doing stuff?
I'm active, but not in front of cameras. Nor am I.
Jennings.
How long have you not been doing things for...
You can say it, porn.
There you go. You can say the cat.
When AIDS came in. Yeah.
Well, good for you. That's a good time to get out. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, good time to sell stock.
I don't want to die just because of a good...
Right.
Deal.
Good leg.
Thank you.
Now, you're in town for the Bacteria Festival? What is it? What is it?
It's called Contamination.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And Butch Patrick is in town, is he not?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Doug, you were right. You thought Butch Patrick was here.
Well, he's supposed to be here. And
Is he not? Is he no showing?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he's going to be here.
All right.
I don't... you know. I don't keep
Yeah.
track of who's arrived.
I didn't know if you were friends with
something.
Butch.
Doing porn has
Mhm.
almost ruined my life, and then at times it's been the best thing in my life.
Well, let's start with the negative. How did it ruin it?
Well, I want to hear this. Well, my parents hate it. And a lot of guys do too. And then a lot of people just judge me and ask me if I care.
I don't think you do.
Do you
You
care?
strike me as the... you march to the beat of your own drummer, I'll bet, kitten.
And I never really gave a rip if anybody liked it or didn't.
And you guys, you were
Seika was huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And right there. You were a fan of Seika's? Did you guys ever do a scene together?
No. Never even met till when? A month ago?
In Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland.
And you guys hooked up? Did you hook up off camera in Cleveland? Was that where it all
I'll
happened?
never tell. I don't kiss and tell.
I had respect for her for being a big star, and she had respect for me.
I've always loved Kitten. Because I always loved Russ Meyer's stuff.
I love the way
Jay
she
Russ
did
Myers?
John Holmes.
Popular gud
Loved it.
You like what'd you say about Holmes?
I just love the way they did it.
Her and Holmes?
Well, he was fun to be with.
Now, you guys traveled to various events where I'm sure you still have a lot of fans like this one that's here in town.
Yes, like Contamination, and in Cleveland we were together at Cinema Wasteland. I think we both do a lot of horror, sci-fi, pop culture kind of shows.
But I've been in horror films, too.
Which ones?
Good question.
I don't even remember the titles.
Those are the big hits.
They have a cult following.
They have a following.
And it doesn't matter as long as you got the
Because
check.
when I make them, they don't tell me the titles.
Now,
Happens
Kitten,
to
how big?
best of them.
I don't care.
Look, Doug, she's pressing her breasts together right there.
How big technically are the nuggets?
No, I had them reduced.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, they were
had
just-
some problems.
They were like their
I
own
had
area
problems
code.
because I had injections that were loose, and it was what was it? What kind of silicone?
Silicone.
Industrial.
Oh, so you were early on.
Almost gasoline. Go ahead, put gasoline.
Ah, my
The
word.
things that we do for you guys.
Please, man.
Oh, and what a miss.
You know, that's Doug's problem because he wants to please men. And it's caused him a lot of issues in
You
his
know
life.
what? It's not that hard.
It is. It's not. Well,
No,
it's not that difficult.
Well, wouldn't it be cool if, like, gals nowadays could be as cool as these gals?
Laid back and sexual.
Yeah, no question.
Now, I thought there was going to be a foot fetish. I turned away because this is the part that I don't really get where Jay worships a foot.
Well, no,
but it was like brief and it was over.
Oh, it's not over. I don't think it started. Oh, I don't think it's even started. Cat. Don't worry. We're just getting started.
Cat, this is Seika is a living legend, my friend.
I understand this.
I must ask you one
Haven't
thing.
you ever had a girl worship your penis?
I don't know if you can say that.
Yeah,
Steph will get the drop on that one.
Well, of course, but there's a
Well, then
big...
what's the difference?
There's a big difference.
This is pretty and hard.
Yes.
Imagine so is your.
No, you can't say these things on the radio.
You can say.
No, we can't. No. We can't have that going on.
Jimmy, I gotta say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Serious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, Seika is a veteran, but she has, the feet of a 25-year-old.
Wow.
You really do.
Well, thank you, darling.
And Jay is a critic.
Actually, I heard about you, so I went and had a nice
That's what I heard.
Petty done.
I figured, it could be with Seika's time on the planet. And,
I was on my knees, not my feet.
That's true. But
Tim, look at the sales guy behind the glass.
Just watching you.
Creeping out in the worst way.
How you doing?
Yeah, come on in. There's plenty of room. Jennings, so you were saying Seika has beautiful feet. 25-year-old feet is what you said.
I'm not kidding. It's really amazing. You would not think that a
58-year-old woman.
58 would have those type of feet. J-Boy, get a good shot of them, will you?
Now, Jennings, Seika, are you into hot foot play like Jennings is?
Oh, I love feet.
Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Jay doesn't have a foot fetish. He says it's a mild.
It's an affinity.
It's an affinity.
It's not really.
It's different than a fetish. He said.
It's not even worth
You don't like breast?
Oh, yes, I do. But it's not as easy to do Breast Tuesdays. The FCC.
Jay, are you going to engage in any activity here with Seika and Kitten? I can't believe that you're not going to do this. What about getting kicked by them?
No, I'm not getting kicked by it.
You're gonna do it, Jay.
I can't believe you're not.
I'll let Seika.
This is like the
You want me to kick you in the horns?
Yes. No.
He likes to get kicked in the head, Seika.
Not
If I
in the
gotta
head.
sit through this,
it's a weird
Jay's getting kicked in the face.
All right, Seika.
No.
Just now.
No, I'm not going to hurt you.
I know. Just a little,
we go.
like a slap. See, this is a professional.
Kick him.
More. That's perfect.
The toe grows. Kick him in the face.
She wants to kick you in the face. Let her get
She
to
gave
it.
me. I like to get slapped in the face.
Work, you guys.
Well.
All right, I've got something. Jay, get on your knees, honey.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
While you're there.
Look at this. Oh, look at that. Look at Jennings. Seika, keep that going for another 10 seconds if you could. I'm gonna get that.
I love it.
What a wonderful little taste, Doug, of a magical Foot Fetish Friday.
I'm on my knees. I'm not on my feet. That was the line for me.
I think that's the day I saw my career spiral downward. The beginning of the end of my life as a respected broadcaster.
I implore people to watch the video of it because he makes non-gay rubber feet, and it looks like non-gays in a hostage video. It's non-gay's last day. Poor guy.
It was her going away present for him.
There was like 50 people in the studio.
When we would do those things, people would come out of the woodwork, but I guess the glass in that area at KFNS was public, and so some listeners would just drive up to watch.
Well, there was
Nickel would be in studio at times, and I have no idea why. I would look at the video and go, "Oh, there's Larry Nickel," and he'd have his phone out, but I'm like, who invited him and why is he here? But I guess he would just make his way there.
Wasn't there like a dermatology center like in there? So like people
be going. There was a dentist office.
Yeah.
There was an insurance office.
Going for
people
a
would
nice
walk by and go, "What in the hell is going on?"
And
it's just Seika.
It was a porn star that actually got to the point where we couldn't have girls take their tops off anymore because if not for that, both of them would have had their tops off.
Well, did that ever happen on the show?
Terry Weigel was in with Rich Gould, and he was talking about, those are nice. He goes, want to see them? Sure. And she took her top off. He goes, oh, my. And here comes a lady and her two kids going to the dentist office. And there's Terry Weigel. And Greg Marisick said, no more of this.
Yeah, I would think so.
So that's why their top stayed on for that interview.
We want to make sure we let people know that this has been an entire program of a tribute to the great Jennings Randolph Jr. Wonderful job by everybody on the producing staff for getting our guests and putting all of the clips together. And thank you to all of you in the audience for your donations for Jay and your support throughout his battle. And the memories that you shared with him before he passed, I know he read them, and I know it meant the world to him and to his family. So thank you so much for that. The great J Randolph Jr., if you missed anything, it is up for you on the TMA podcast and, of course, YouTube as well. We will have a tribute to Jennings for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up in a matter of moments. First, let me tell the people about Centric. Cybersecurity is the most exciting career in technology and one of the most in demand. Centric can train you for a career in cybersecurity, and they do it in just 4 months. Centric's hands-on program teaches you the actual job skills you need to get started. No history, no biology, just technology. And that's how they do it in just 4 months. Even if you have no IT experience, you can do it online, you can do it in person. You can do it in the evenings, you can do it during the day, whichever works best for you. If you're interested in a career in cybersecurity, call the great Patrick Nealon, who can really roll the rock at Centric Training today, and he will walk you through Centric's cutting-edge program and show you everything Centric does to help get you started in your new IT career. Call 314-450-4714 or go to centric.com/STL. That's CENTRIQ.com/STL. Cybersecurity is a problem for every business in St. Louis. You can be part of the solution. That is Centric. And, of course, fittingly, here on the program, our last live read on the Jennings tribute is golf. And man, did Jay play a big role in our audience getting into the game. And family golf. If you want to keep your game sharp, that's where you go. And you say, my God, it's like 30 degrees out. Go inside. They have simulators in there, and you can practice throughout the year. And you can play, too. They have leagues going on throughout the winter, 6-week sessions, Monday or Tuesday with tee times at 5 p.m. and at 7 p.m. with 3 separate sessions, and it goes through March. New courses and formats each week with weekly prizes and skins games. Just go to familygolfonline.com for more information or to sign up. First-class operation with great professionals and a perfect place to practice and play during the cold weather months. That's Family Golf Online at familygolfonline.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Morn. I met Jay Jr. in 2009 when I decided for some reason that it was a good idea to intern at 590.
Oh.
And from day one, I was drawn to him, as he really learned what made you laugh. He clearly figured me out fast, and soon he was actively encouraging me to prank call and troll other shows that were airing on 590, which led to many frustrating moments for a host at the time named Chris Domino. His positivity and laughter were infectious, and it made you want to just be around him. Jay Jr. was the only person I knew at the time who utilized the voice message feature of BlackBerry Messenger, so there was a period of time where I would get 5 to 10 second clips of Jay Jr. sending voice messages that would just have me in tears of laughter. Over the years, with him joining TMA, running golf leagues, holding court at G8 summits, he became even more a part of my life. He got to know my father, and naturally when I got married, my wife, and her feet. My friends back home refer to my wife as OM, and that is a Jay Jr. creation that will live on forever. Jay was always asking about the people in your life because he truly cared. And although we were separated by distance, I felt close to him because of it. When I learned of Jay's sickness, I cried more than I did when I mourned some of my actual family members. His presence is already so missed, but so happy that his audio and stories will live on forever. That comes from Deke Dotem. Yes, I wasn't going to add this to the end of my email, but the more I thought about it, it's what Jay would have wanted. Therefore, hey, Doug, why don't you unhinge my Sans Belt pant and help me deliver the twice-baked meatloaf that I recently ordered at Ruth's Chris upon your chest? Think about it. That is from Dotem.
He had a good email going there and ruined it right at the end.
Well, it's an invitation.
Deke Dotem. I don't know what to think of that one, fellas. Was Jay a part of the Goob 11 or the...
Yeah.
At these G8?
Oh, yeah, he was at the G8 summit.
He was part of the Goob
11, yeah. The Goob 11.
People hated that.
Well, I think the problem was there were a handful of people who were intentionally not invited who found out that they weren't invited, and it caused tension. I believe is there Swope's pics on that?
Yeah, I revealed the location.
You revealed the location.
Is that still a thing? Do they still have regular meetings and chapter meetings?
Jay was the guy setting those up.
Oh, was he the guy?
Jay and Dotem.
I thought it was Dotem. Yeah, but Jennings would absolutely hold court.
Goob 11.
I never had the privilege to meet Junior, but something about this dumb show and his always great appearances made it feel like he was sitting right next to me at work, talking to me individually. He had a knack of talking as if he was right in front of you, the talent that is hard to have, but yet it was so incredibly natural for him. As the news broke on Friday, I was visibly upset. Tears came down my face, regretting the fact that I never made the effort to go to any of the teammate golf events he was there to meet him. Thankfully, we'll always have his voice, his stories, his laugh, his kindness, his genuineness for all time. Thanks for everything, Junior. You'll be missed for all times. The next King of Beers is for you. Love, TMA Walrus #1. P.S. I personally will always be grateful to Junior for getting Iggy into radio. Before there was a TMA, Jennings had already set up a personality so unique that we all got to enjoy it. Of all the great, wonderful things Junior did in his life, getting Iggy into radio is one thing I will always be grateful for. That's TMA Walrus #1.
TMA Walrus #1.
Where Jay has gone, the grass is green and the sun does shine. Where Jay is gone, the box is always open and you don't need a tee time. Where Jennings now resides, the putts always fall and every shot is pure. Where Jay has gone, it's sunny and 72, and the Budweiser is cold too. Where Jay has gone, the ponies are always running and his horse always wins. At the great golf course in the sky, the fairways are wide, the meatballs are tasty, and so are the feet. R.I.P. Jennings, you always live on in our hearts. That's from the JV Golf Coach.
JV Golf Coach.
I just want to say thanks. I started listening to you morons 6 years ago because I was told my friend John's father regularly got sexually propositioned by grown married men on the radio.
Oh.
And while you all continue to make me laugh, the first time I heard Jay's voice, I knew the guy was one of a kind. He made every single person he encountered feel special and truly loved this audience. Jay had zero reason to ever know who someone like me was or get to know anything about me, but yet he did, as he did with so many others. Sure, a few wife pics maybe played a part, but he really did take an interest in connecting with and cared about this whole perverted, mostly diabetic community. This all hurts so much because this show is a daily escape from reality, and for something so evil and unrelenting as cancer,
to seemingly have violated that escape is as unfair shock to us all, that it cannot ever take away 5 to the face, his work with Seika, or rants about people destroying the Normandy bathroom. I think I've watched that video over 100 times this past week. Or golfing with Michael Jordan, or being an ambassador for the game of golf for this whole city, or just being a damn good person who made everyone around him's day instantly more fun. The man imprinted his unique, unapologetic personality on our brains, and we're all so lucky for it. Finally, something needs to be addressed. I'm not sure what Angry is going to do this spring, because from wherever Jay is suckling upon some toes in the great beyond, he is 100% saying Daddy is out of the free golf for Ken business. Thanks for all the laughs, Jay. That's from Los Ween.
Carlos Spicy Wiener.
And we have more. Unfortunately, we are out of time. I apologize. I'm probably late already for the program down the hallway. That's what we got. Designer here.
Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Yeah, Spicy Wiener.
Congratulations to Carlos Spicy Wiener. You've won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Thank you to our audience for all of the support for Jennings. Can't say it enough. And just like you, we will always love and miss Jennings, but his legacy and that laugh will live on forever. For everybody here on the program, and especially for the great J Randolph Jr., I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. This is Tim McKernan to tell you about